Chapter 101, Big Love. Chapter 101, Heaven and Humanity. Fa Jing is a piece of Fang Han from the castle of the great Ashura witch. It is the material ore that everyone in the monastic world dreams of. The magical masters wearing the magical power can absorb the magical power of the crystal. At the time of the enemy, there is no trouble with the exhaustion of mana. Just Long Hao thought that Fang Han consumed a lot of mana, but did not think that he actually carried the law crystal, can continue to draw from a long time and fierce, not tired. Although the mana contained in a piece of crystal is not too thick, after the completion of this spar, it loses its effect and becomes an ordinary jade. But for Fang Han, such a supernatural person can still support for a long time, and Fang Han is not only a crystal, he brought hundreds of crystals from the ground. Although these months used to burn the body consumed a few 10, there is still a surplus. Unfortunately, I have to step into the mysterious mystery and have to accumulate for 3 or 5 years. Long Hao took over the magic weapon, shook his head, walked off the platform, and backed away, with unlimited regrets. This time the right thing she is a heavy blow. Fang Han looked at the back of Long Yao's departure, and his heart seemed to be thinking of something, his face smiling. Good. The mountain river list is the first. This time I killed a dark horse. Fang Han, you come down to the mountain river list. Just then, the elders in several stands were summoned at the same time. Fang Han nodded, and received the law. A mana running up, fell to the stands, watching the huge mountain river list. The name of the first place on the mountain river list has become its own, and Long Hao automatically fell to the second place. The owner of Hongyi County actually occupied the 5th place in the Shan list. As for the original Jiangkong, Yi Nanshan has already fallen out of the Shan list. This is a yin and yang shuden, and there is a pure yang treasure golden light fire mirror. Yin Yang Wanshodan is the supreme medicine of my feathered ore, the master of the teaching, and the elders gave birth to several babies in the Dan furnace. A total of 5 have been refined. Although you have cultivated it into the mysterious secrets, you can't use it. But taking it can make your mana more powerful, but the best effect is to change your body, strong vitality, and increase your ability. 10 Shouyuan. Between the talks, an elder, waving to the Shan list, suddenly shot a light on this huge list, carrying a remedy, and a mirror flew over. The medicinal herb was held by a mushroom-like 5-color cloud, and it was spinning. This medicinal herb is black and white, half black, half white, and the dividing line is like the human spine. It is full of powerful mana. The selling of this medicinal medicine is not divided into the 9 Chao Jin Dan. In particular, it is possible to increase the life of 10 people. That is the lifespan of 600 years, so it is very rare. You must know that even if you are physically active in the physical environment, your life expectancy will only exceed 100 years. At most, you can live to 130 to 150, and you will be physically aging and die. And stepping into the mysterious mystery, but it will not increase life expectancy, but because a large number of essence of is transformed into mana, causing loss of flesh and blood. Therefore, stepping into the mysterious secrets, although the power is greatly increased, it can emptiness, break the world view of ordinary people, and make all kinds of incredible things, but it cannot extend their life. Therefore, there is a saying in the monastic circle, Shintong is not good for life, supernatural power is supernatural power, and life is life. It means to step into the mysterious realm, and people still die. Of course, after the achievement of the magical powers, further cultivation. In the 5th heaven, the mana communicates with the heavens, understands the yin and yang, knows the spirituality, and can condense the big array. Therefore, using the large array to protect the internal organs and the whole body, the body will be strengthened and the organs will be strengthened. It can greatly enhance Shouyuan and reach 800 years old. N-O-V-E in .C Om. Therefore, the master of heaven and earth is very respected. It's not just that you can make a spirit. Because of this, Yu Huaman paid great attention to Fang Qingshe and let her go to Shaoshanji to retreat. It is also because, in front of the mysterious mystery, I can't enhance my life, so the Feather's disciples attach great importance to the increase of Shouyuan's medicinal herbs, and dream of it. Last time in the battlefield of Tianmu, Huatian rewarded the Big Dan to others, and could increase the life of a Jiazi. Those inside disciples were ecstatic. It is for this reason. Life, who doesn't want it? However, Jiazi Shendon can only take it once. When taking it for the second time, the drug has no effect. Fang Han looked at Yin Yang Wanshodan and fell into meditation. He took Ju Jin Jin Dan and improved his physique. In fact, his life has been very long. Although he is not sure how long he can live, he will definitely be longer than the average person. Moreover, the refining of the golden body is strong, and in fact, it will also strengthen the toughness of the organs and increase the life. It should be known that Jui Jindan is more magical than Yin and Yang Wanshodan, and the cultivation method of Jurassic golden body is the secret practice of Huang Quanmen. It is also created to enhance the body and increase Shouyuan. The golden fire mirror, but a hexagonal mirror, red fire color, above is a flame of stripes, the flame stripes, lotus-like, clean and pure. At first glance, it gives people a kind of masculine and exuberant, no impurities, and a magnificent taste. Fang Han immediately knew that this is a pure magic weapon of real price. This golden flame mirror can emit golden fire, refining the demon, and its flaming pure yang can be used to quench the bones. You can introduce the pure yang of the fire into the body and transform your roots. Bone, the elder said. After you have collected it, go to the temple of heaven, the elders will assess your birth, then promote you as a true disciple, give you a mountain. Also teach you one of the 8 supernatural powers of Yuhuaman. Door magic. Okay. Fang Han took a photo of Yi Dan and heard it. He heard the excitement of his own feathering door. He couldn't help but feel excited. He is now a magical powerhouse, but he has not learned magical powers, such as Purple Electric Thunder Knife, Shinzan Jing Jin, Big Self Supreme Zan Jin Jian Qi, in the instant kill, and so on. Learn these things, the strength will really advance, and can be further cultivation. Fang Han, I don't think you are hidden, even I have looked away. Indigo stood up and pointed to Fang Handao, but you helped me win a Tianmu needle, I am very happy. The Indigo Master gave the sword the grace, I never forgot. Fang Han thought about it and suddenly took the Yin and Yang Wanshodan out. This Yin and Yang Shodan, also asked the sister to hand over to Long Hao, she took after that, you can also change to the mysterious secret. So I have another true disciple. What? Seeing the action of Fang Han, Indigo was shocked. Even several elders, and the Eastling Bi, who was about to leave, were shocked and looked at Fang Han with a strange look. Why, although you have cultivated into the mysterious secrets, you don't have to change, but you probably don't know, this Yin-Yang Wanshodan adds the meaning of Shijiazhuang Shouyuan. The longer the life expectancy, the more opportunities for cultivation. I tell you, I feathered the door. In the past, there were true disciples. Because of the exhaustion of Shouyuan, the old deaths could not be cultivated into the heavens. Many disciples of the martial arts had to fight for the 20-year-old Shouyuan. Indigo eyes sparkled with singular brilliance. I swear, in the past 10 years, I have to make a life and death on the heavenly platform with Huaishan. I can't beat him, I will be self-defeating. If I can beat Huaishandu in 10 years, then it will be highly cultivated. Longevity is long. If you can't win, you will die immediately. So the life expectancy of this yin and yang longevity Dan is not important to me. It is better to have a big man. Fang Han smiled slightly. Chapter 102. Teaching Magical Power. Chapter 102 teaches magical powers. I saw the face of Fang Han smile. I don't know how even the indigo heart was filled with a deep chill. I felt his determination, categorically, and the unrelenting resentment. This resentment is being transformed into cultivation. The power of the party makes Fang Hanshan learn hard and practice bravely. It is indeed a big human feeling. A yin and yang Shuden represents the strength of the 600-year-old Shouyuan, the magical mystery. Even if Indigo faced this medicinal herb, it was somewhat heartwarming. Although she broke through the heavens and humanity and had 800 years of life, she would not have imagined that her life was too long. This is the way to cultivate the Tao. It is to compete with the sky for life. If you can live for another year, you will have more opportunities to live for 1 year. Many masters have broken through the heavens and humanities, and they have been practicing hard, and the results of the dripping stone have been cultivated for hundreds of years. They still have not been able to break through. In the end, there are many examples of life and death. It's really embarrassing to see Fang Han's going out. It's a sigh of relief. I'm going to beat Hua Tiandu and break my own path. Indigo can't help but feel sorry, because she knows that Fang Han can't beat Hua Tiandu anymore. However, of course, it is necessary to bear the cold feelings of the party. Long Hao is an important figure of her Indigo society. Once she enters the mysterious secrets, she becomes a true disciple and can greatly increase the strength of the Indigo Club. I will take your love on behalf of the dragon. Indigo took over Yin and Yang Wanshodan, and waved his hand. When you learn the magical powers, come to my blue peak, I will let Long Hao thank you. You're welcome. I will follow the elders to feather the temple of heaven, and later I will visit the Indigo Master. Fang Han nodded and knew that he had established an unbreakable friendship with Indigo, and later in the martial art. Have allies, or have real backers. Indigo, your blue peak, never allowed a man to enter, but now invite him. I am afraid it is an exception. Lingbi smiled coldly. The rules are my decision, a yin and yang, longevity Dan, what if you break the case once? If you can pull Fang Qingshe into your Indigo meeting, wait for the ***** to rise and achieve the fairy tales. I am afraid that you will be able to compete with the Chinese brothers in the future. Now you can live for 10 years. What is the use of people who arrive? Lingbi spoke, I don't know how to become sharp, and after reading it, I looked at Fang Han coldly. You can do it yourself. Between the end, the whole person was wrapped in a group of purple gas, disappeared, and did not know what to do. This spirit is the closeness of the Chinese brother. You are sharp-minded, you don't care, but he will not secretly make a blind to you, you can rest assured. Indigo saw this scene, the other side explained. It seems that I have not become a true disciple, and I have offended Zongtiandu, Dongling, Nanwan Luo. Fang Hanyu secretly smiled, but Hua Tian is also offended, not afraid to offend more people. Dragonfly will wait for you at the Blue Peak. After Indigo spoke, the figure took a step outward and shifted, so she didn't know how she left. Fang Hanpeng knows that the power among these true disciples has cultivated a variety of magical powers, and his strength is far above him. Go. Several elders looked at all of them, silently, and the true disciples such as Indigo and Lingbi were fighting each other. Although they were elders, they did not dare to intervene. Their supernatural powers are not as good as these true disciples. Although their identity is higher than that of the semi-elder, they are not comparable to the celebration elders and transmission elders, such giants. Even Jin Shite's father, Jin Lai-il, did not dare to offend the true disciples such as Indigo and Lingbi. However, Fang Han is in front of them, and there is no prestige. At the moment, several elders are flying first, and Fang Han follows. The majestic giant palace of Yuha Tiangong is still suspended on the clouds in the sky deep in the feathered mountains. It is half covered and hidden, like the palace of the emperor and the city in the clouds. Fang Han, this is the first time I came to the Yuha temple, and I saw the momentum of the floating city in the cloud, and my heart was deeply shocked. How much mana will you have to be able to take the city out of the air? How to force the mana of the horse? No, it is also small, at least 10,000 times more, and it will be enough to make a billion horse. It may be enough. Fang Hanzhang, this requires a lot of mana, but it can't be estimated, and he can't ask for yan now, although he knows for sure, but this dragon has already applied the law of silence to hide, and completely slept. Carefully following these elders into the Yuha temple, down to earth, I feel that the clouds are still floating under my feet. At first glance, the entire feathered mountains, the great city of the central plains, are vividly in sight, high in the sky, rule the earth. Living in this temple of the heavenly kingdom, over time, it can raise the spirit of the immortal. Fang Han heart sighs, wherever he lives, can raise what temperament. Arriving in the temple of Yuha, the city in the cloud is full of halls, one floor is higher than the first floor, and stands 9 times. Fang Hanyu has a kind of self-improvement, and he came to the heavenly palace to worship the emperor. This is the true palace, the place where the true disciple is taught. Fang, you go in. Several elders have received the news, and you have to check them. As long as they have withstood their inspections, there will be no mistakes, they will be taught on the spot. You have a magical power, designate you a mountain peak, and since then, you have become a true disciple. Several elders brought Fang Han to a palace. Fang Han saw the past. I saw 3 big characters on the plaque of the palace. The true biography of the palace, a glimpse of the heart, nodded, and walked in. NOVEL-BJN.C Om. Step by step into this true biography palace, Fang Hengsen received the photo, calm and self-confident, and sealed everything about Huang Quan's emperor and scorpion in his head. At this moment, he had a vague memory. As soon as I entered the true palace, the first thing I noticed was the transmission elders. The elder, Fang Han, saw it many times and felt that he was comforted. However, an elder who was next to the elders of the martial arts, Fang Han has never seen it. This elder, with dark hair and no need for white face, turned out to be a young boy. Although this elder is a teenager, Fang Han feels that his heart is jumping. It is like a person who has done something wrong to hear thunder, afraid of being condemned. Don't be afraid, although I master the punishment platform, I am still very cautious about killing the real disciple of Yuhuaman. The voice of this boy is very old. Training platform, he is the elder of the sentence. Fang Han a cold, quickly squatting, singer, sing da nuo. 10. You see how he is. Ask the elders. The eyes of the elders of the sentence were swept away from Fang Han. Fang Han felt that he seemed to be inch by inch. Even the mind was seen through, the body, the bones, the fur, the internal organs, all were seen through, and then the eyes of the elders were swept to the side. Above the cold heavens, suddenly, Fang Han felt that his mind seemed to see through the general. Fortunately, he temporarily forgot the memories of Huang Quantu and Zhu Jin Jin Dan, otherwise the thinking was fluctuating and must be seen through. The elders of the day sentence did not stay for a long time, they took it back, teach him the magical power. Since you have seen it, there will be no mistakes. The elders nodded and raised their hands, and suddenly a book of jade books fell to the face of Fang Han. Chapter 103, Qingdi Muhuangong. Chapter 103 Qingdi Muhuangong and O, Vel, B, in .c Om. A jade code that records the feathers of the door. Fang Hengsen was excited and quickly took his hands up and saw that the jade code wrote, Spring Breeze. Can't help. With intuition, he knows that this magical power is definitely not a kind of mighty power like, Purple Electric Thunder Knife, Tianan Zan Ming Jin, Bai Yan Qi Shu Meng, Da Zi Zan Jin Jian Qi, it seems to be a kind of auxiliary magical power. This spring breeze is a small magical power among the feathers of the Tianmu asterisk, which absorbs the aura of the grass and cultivates the infuriating spirit. It can be used for healing, alchemy, strengthening, life, and gas. There is no unparalleled effect. Now I have many disciples in Yuhuaman, but I lack the medicinal herbs. After you have cultivated this spring breeze, you can use the infuriating alchemy to refine 100 pieces of wood lingen and then hand it to the sect. In the library, in order to use it for the disciples. After a year, wait until you have purely trained Moling, and then teach you Tianmu. The elders of the martial arts saw that Fang Han seemed to be unwilling. He smiled and explained, this year is also testing your heart. The martial art has trained you, taught you how to practice, and become a true disciple. You have to do something for the martial art. All the true disciples are the same. This is also the difference between my immortal sect and the magic martial art. Among the magic gates, the magical high pressure of the smoldering gods is low, and my fairy martial art, the supernatural power to help the gods pass low, the greater the ability, responsibility it is bigger. Go. This spring wind mulling post-operative surface, recorded the method of refining wood lingden. Remember, refining 100 wood lingden every month, handed it to the sect of the sect. Otherwise it violates the task, after the magical powers don't want to learn. The elders of the heavenly sentence followed. I am in charge of the criminal law. I especially value the true disciples. I hope that you will not violate the rules. Otherwise, you will not be able to escape punishment on the platform. Yes, Fang Han originally wanted to ask if he could change his supernatural power, learn the big killing in the Zan Jinjian, but hear the tone of these two elders, knowing that this is the other party's plan, so with the classics, he retired with respect and respect. Seeing that Fang Han retired, the elders suddenly asked, how? This sentence, I am about to ask you. The elders of the sentence asked. He cultivated the golden body of the Jurassic, the magical power of Huang Quanman. I don't know if it was taught by Fang Qingshe. It seems that the legend Huang Quantu was born again, and it fell into the hands of Fang Qingshe. There are in the hands of the eternal snow. I shrugged. This is also her adventure. It seems that she is destined to shine at the group meeting, just like Huatian. When Huatian got the inheritance of Panwu Shanzun, it immediately became a master. The door is greatly increased in color. The juvenile, the elder of the sentence, smiled. But Wang Quanman still has a lot of embers hidden between the heavens and the earth. There is no shortage of thousands of old devils and powerful people. Huang Quantu is the symbol of Huang Quan, who got this picture. It is possible to unify Wang Quanman and restore the first power of the magic road. This is a pass-through, and I have become a singer of the door, and Fang Qingshe went out to practice, and I am afraid that it will not be peaceful. The punishment is very different. You can talk to Fang Qingshe. Talk. Transmission of the elders. Qingshe temperament is arrogant, and there are many adventures. Talking about her will cause her resentment. This will force her to turn to the magic road. In case of being conquered by the congenital demon, I will not only lose a talent but also suffer to the magical attack of the devil. Although the devil is not a thing, but killing him, attracted his son should be innate, it is quite difficult to deal with. Moreover, now the snow has feathered me, still have deep feelings, Palm Teaching Supreme has already talked with her many times, and this matter should not be taken care of. The juvenile of the elders of heavenly punishment shook his head. Which true disciples are not proud of their character? If they are high, they will not be willing to go down. As long as they do not make things that endanger my feathering, they will not be strictly controlled. Otherwise, they will give rise to rebellious psychology, but they will be worse. The disciples of the mysterious secrets, not a child, we have to worry about everything. That's what you say, but this is cold, promoted to the mysterious secret, and has a life and death agreement with Huatian. He has to hone his temper. Anyway, he can't beat Huatian in 10 years. Huatian is now advancing by leaps and bounds. 10 years later, I am afraid that I will step into the longevity secret. I can't beat him, let alone Fang Han. When you come out, you can solve it, and that's it. Of course, the elders of the sentence sat down. Out of the feathered Tiangong, Fang Han suddenly felt the movement of the body's skin. It turned out that he woke up from the silence. The two elders are really powerful. I almost couldn't hide them. Especially that day. The elder is unacceptable. Hey, this supernatural power of spring breeze seems to be not very powerful. Do you want to learn if I want to? Fang Han gave this jade to the audience to watch. Hey, this spring breeze is the one of the 8 supernatural powers of Yuhuaman. It is only a small magical power. It absorbs the essence of grass, and it is used to be infuriating. It is used for the power of the enemy. It is most suitable for alchemy treatment. The feathering door is the coolie that makes you a year first. To beat Huatian, every time of breathing is extremely important. How can you waste a year on this? I sneered. What should I do? I will practice it first. Why, you are not saying don't waste. Fang Hanchi said. This spring breeze is a woody. After you condense the infuriating, you can cultivate the body of the sky. The Tianmu of the feather door is also a must, not under the purple electric yin knife of Fang Qingshe. Quote. How to repair Tianmu? It takes only 1 year to cultivate. I will. What? I will be Tianmu asterisk, although I have no cultivation, but I know the cultivation of Tianmu. The voice of the cockroach suddenly became erratic. And I also know that Tianmu comes from the ancient blue emperor Mugong. The wooden door of Yuhuaman is only part of Qingdi Muhuangong, and I know the complete Qingdi Muhuangong. Qingdi Muhuangong. Fang Han's heart was overjoyed. In this case, what am I afraid of? It is true that I don't have to worry about anything. I didn't want to teach you the magical powers. I was afraid that I would be known by the Yuhuaman. Now that the feathering door has passed you, you have begun to cultivate the Qing Emperor Mugongong. Anyway, the truth is the same, you in the future, others will not doubt it. He seems to have finally waited until today. You are the East Lingling, the refining is Tianmu asterisk, but after you cultivate the Emperor's wooden emperor, the quality of the mana, the pressure he has won. Go, let's go to the Blue Peak. I think the Blue Master Sister, there are also benefits to give me. Fang Hengsen blossomed. Then you first gave me the Golden Fire Mirror. Chapter 104, Zijulan. Chapter 104 Zijulan. Indigo Peak. On the west side of the Feathered Mountains, it is the most respected place name of many female disciples in Yuhuaman. The 5 true disciples, Xilan Blue and Bei Yaoguang. Indigo is the most powerful among the disciples, and Bei Yaoguang is alone in the cultivation of ghosts. Many true disciples are hard to see the true face, and they are not on the Yaoguang Peak all the year round. Fang Han is using the magical powers to fly to the Blue Peak. On the Indigo Peak, the whole body is a light blue crystal for the mountain, like sapphire and blue crystal. It seems that it is a magical existence, not in the world. Although I have been to the Yuha temple, Fang Han is still envious of this Blue Peak. When he thinks about it, he has to have this same mountain. After he manages well, he feels that he has a kind of dependence. Landing. Who is it? I don't know if the male disciple is flying near the Blue Peak. Ah, it's Fang Han's brother. We have been waiting for you here for a long time. The Indigo Master and the Dragon Sister are waiting for you. Fang Han's defensive flight. When he approached the Blue Peak, he saw several women. The disciple flew up and intercepted him in front of him. He was about to ask, and he saw that it was Fang Han, and he quickly changed his mouth. Fang Han looked at it, but it was the virtual moon that he rescued on the battlefield of the demon, and 8 female disciples, such as the Night Rain, saw that Fang Han was very cordial. These 8 female disciples, everyone wearing a ceremonial vest, and a flying sword, basically one dress, go out to the magic to collect drugs is not afraid of accidents, a lot of security, NOVELBJN.C. Ohm. The mountain river list competition is over, you have come to this blue peak. Fang Han greeted, he knew that he had established a good relationship with the indigo, and he would do things in the future, practice, go out and explore, and the experience will be smooth. This time we performed well in the Shan list competition. Although we did not enter the top 10, we also received martial arts rewards. The indigo master also rewarded us with a set of spiritual clothes. The false month answered, one side Fang Han leads the way, falls to the indigo peak, and is down to earth. It was the Fang Han brother who was promoted to a true disciple and made a lot of people sensational. Fortunately, Fang Hanshin imaginary. Is this kind of thing lucky? The Night Rain smiled, and then his face changed, and he lowered his voice, the brothers should be careful. The competition among the disciples is more intense than the inner disciples. You have offended the Chinese brother. Many true disciples are dissatisfied with you. I know this. Fang Han's face showed a sneer, which made people feel a little scared. People don't commit me, I don't commit crimes. If someone is not good for me, I will let them know what is called retribution. The brothers went to the Yuha temple this time. I don't know what magical powers have been learned. Asked the virtual moon. Spring breeze would. A little magical power only, waiting for the sect of the school for 1 year, can teach me Tianmu. Fang Hanshi said. I wonder, how can the martial art teach you such a small magical power? Do you still have to practice alchemy for a year? According to the truth, even if you pass the complete Tianmu to you, it is not unusual. You know, Fang Han's brother is a wizard in the wizards. Self-achievement of magical powers. According to the truth, the martial arts should focus on training. Why is this? Maybe it is offending the reason of Hua Tiandu. The Night Rain touched his flying sword. Fang Han just smiled coldly and didn't speak. Suddenly a sound came from the top of the mountain. Is it a gentleman? Come up. It was the voice of Indigo. Everyone quickly flew up, and went to the top of a cloud-covered indigo palace, and walked in. Suddenly a huge Manavali came and wrapped all the bodies of the people into a Dan room. This Danfang is really huge. Fang Hanyi stood, and saw this Danfang, the huge Dan furnace, full of 10 people, the above flashes, coiled around the dragon and phoenix and other beasts like a giant god, propped up the sky. This Dan furnace is definitely a treasure trove. Indigo and Longyun were sitting next to Dan furnace. When Fang Han came in, Long Hao stood up quickly. Thank you for your help from Fang Han, the dragon is not forgotten. I just use it to the best of my ability. Fang Han sat down, and did not dare to be. A yin and yang, a longevity, a treasure between heaven and earth. Ender can afford it, but after taking it for 3 days and 3 nights, I will be able to make magical powers with my help. Beckoning, a green and green needle appeared in her palm. It was the Tianmu god, betting on winning in the Eastling Bee. The elders of the martial arts actually only taught you a little spring breeze, and since it was my accident, it seems to be unexpected. But the spring breeze comes from the sky, you first condense the spirit, then I practiced Tianmu infuriating, and it was quite time-consuming. This time I bet that I won a Tianmu **** from the coffin, just for you. You can refine it and integrate it into your mana, you can save you have a lot of hard work. There is also the benefit of Tianda. After that, the indigo hand waved, and this, Tianmu god needle, fell to Fang Han's hand. Fang Han looked at the needle on the palm of his hand, and he was happy in his heart. He knew that he had received a return. Although Tianmu Shenzhen does not know what kind of magic weapon, but since indigo, it is definitely beneficial to his cultivation. If you ask, you will know. But now the indigo is unfathomable, and I don't dare to take it easy. With regard to cultivation, if you have any questions, you can always ask me. Of course, you still learn from Shui Shui's sister. After she leaves the customs, you still have to ask her, she is a fellow practitioner. In the gloom of the ocean, I got an ancient dynasty's Fuxi, indefinite electrician, which is powerful. If I can come out from Shaoshanji and know that you dare to challenge Yuetian, she will be very happy. Between the indigo and the blue, it seems that the character of the other party is very clear. Dare to ask the sister, what is the fairyland? Fang Han asked. Shaoshanji is the most mysterious place of my feathering door. Although I have also gone to practice, I can't understand the situation. Moreover, this is the biggest secret of Yuhuaman, but it is not said. This is the door gauge. When you cultivate to a certain realm, you will definitely let you go into cultivation. Indigo smiled and said, I don't know if your mountain is fixed. What do you need, tell me. The mountain has not yet been settled, maybe it will take a few days. Yes, the peaks of every true disciple need to be sent by the elders of the sects to send the great demon to build. When the palaces are built, they will be given to the true disciples. Indigo nodded. But these days, I practice the spring breeze, and in other places, I learn the essence of the grass and wood. It is difficult to practice. On this blue peak, there is a purple bamboo forest. It is the spiritual root that I have carefully cultivated. You are here to cultivate and absorb fine gas, will be able to make rapid progress. In this case, I would like to thank my sister. Fang Handao. Chapter 105, Overbearing Magical Power. Chapter 105 Overbearing Magical. The snow-capped mountains outside the mountains are chilly, the mountains are silvery, and the white waves are magnificent, but there is no snow on the blue peaks. The climate is as warm as spring, and even the cold winds can't be blown. According to the truth, the higher the peak, the more the wind is, but the airflow on the Indigo Peak seems to be in a calm state forever. Even Fang Han can't understand why the airflow is fixed, and his heart is unfathomable to the indigo. The mana is more admired. Even the blues are not as good as Huatian, and Fang Hengsen has a new understanding of his opponents. At this time, Fang Han and his niece sit in the Zizhu forest and practice the spring breeze. This piece of Zizulan has more than 800 acres, and the breeze blows, the bamboo shadows, the purple ocean, and the beautiful. The roots of Zizhu are purple gold color, which is cultivated by the water of medicinal herbs. It is unprecedentedly tough and can even be used to make flying swords and spirits. Even if it is a sword, the sword will cut these Zizhu. N-O-V-E in .c ohm. Mana operation, spring rain, wood spirit wake up, refining the truth, the door to comprehension. According to the cultivation method of Chunfeng Moling, Fang Han used his mana skillfully into the artistic conception of the mighty spring breeze. He suddenly flew out and scattered between these purple bamboos. These purple bamboos felt the magical power of Fang Han as a spring breeze, suddenly swayed. The spring breeze formed by mana, touched these purple bamboos, penetrated into it, and Fang Han gradually became familiar with the characteristics of grass and trees. The fierce change was for the extremely strong vortex, with the sound of whistling wind, and collected back. Suddenly, you can see a blue-purple grass and wood in the air, as fine as a gossamer, gathered toward Fang Han, and the invisible mana of Fang Han was dyed into a cyan color, and then it was in the mind. Shintong is the second most important thing. It is to practice the invisible mana. Can be seen and touched. The mysterious mystery is the transformation of the spirit into mana, and the transformation of mana into infuriating, supernatural performance. The spirit is invisible and inferior, while the mana is invisible and qualitative, and the infuriating is tangible and qualitative. Therefore, it is called true. Fang Han uses mana, picks people, slaps people, and people can only see the invisible violent airflow. And if you practice it, then everyone can see the blue-purple wooden giant palm. Even after the real gas is strong enough, it can be turned into a real giant wood, suppressing one side and supporting the sky. Fang Han is now learning the grass and spirits, and practicing his own magic power into infuriating. After the mana is practiced as a true spirit, the solidity and resilience of strength will increase a step. If the power of Fang Han is able to take 100 heads of black and yellow horses, then after the mana is turned into infuriating, then it can be fierce, increase. I even took 200 galloping horses. However, this also depends on the infuriating quality and quality. If Fang Han is practicing in the ordinary mountains and ingesting ordinary grass and wood aura, then the quality of the infuriating will not be high, and the cultivation speed is very slow, but this piece of purple bamboo forest is planted with indigo, each purple bamboo, it is equivalent to thousands of ordinary trees. This Zizulan is a pottery land for practicing the spirit of Moling. The vegetation in the surrounding bamboos was constantly absorbed by the mana. The more they sucked, the more they sucked. Then Fang Han felt that he could not accommodate the mind, and quickly introduced the woody force of these purple bamboos into the body. In all parts, according to the method of refining body of Chunfeng Moling, it moisturizes various internal organs and body fascia. Suddenly, Fang Han felt that his body was a little stiff. It seems to be turned into wood. Suddenly surprised, and quickly stopped. This piece of Zijulan is really a good place for the earth. If you cultivate it, you will get twice the result with half the effort. When the Fang Han was shocked, a voice was heard from his mind. Hey, how come you wake up? Hurry up and teach me the Qing Emperor Muhuang, the golden light fire mirror you have eaten, how is it restored? Fang Hengxin, happy, no the savior, immediately asked. The taste is really good, pure yang magic weapon. If you can give me a few more pieces, but this golden light fire mirror is weak, far less than the Jugong Jinta and the Japanese 5-star bracelet, I am not recovering. Many. You are cool, I can lose a magic weapon. I am now clean and tidy, there is no magic weapon. Also, this spring breeze, there is a method of refining, I have absorbed the spirit of wood and will the golden body conflict. Causes the body to be stiff like a wood stone. Fang Han now, I already know a lot of taboos for cultivation. Different kinds of infuriating conflicts will cause brains to die, and improper refining will cause the body to be petrified, woodized, and rigid. Now that he is a little stiff, doubt is that there is a problem with the practice. There is danger in this respect, you are indeed alert, but this is not good for you. Hearing the suspicion of Fang Han, he meditated for a while. Jin Kemu, Ju Luo Jin, specializing in restraining wood infuriating, you now the body is a bit stiff. You have to use the blood of the scorpion to play the door, beat the woods in the body, forcibly swallowed. To strengthen your body. This way, your body will become more and more tyrannical. Yan Luo Jin Shen will continue to improve, but the blood circulation, it is very painful to break the wood spirit. Even more painful than the oil pan. You must be mentally prepared. Come, I will teach you Qingdi Huanggong. Among the sly voices, a stock of ideas, slyly conveyed into the square of the mind. When Fang Han suddenly saw himself, it seemed to come to the age of Taiku, and the earth was desolate. Just in this desolate, distant east, suddenly a blue pillar of heaven rose from the sky and supported the sky. Then, this blue pillar of heaven gradually became a royal man, making the earth green. The practice of a sentence, the words of the road, the images, and even the sentiments are conveyed into Fang Han's mind. Qing Di Fu, Mu Huang Fu. Fang Han gradually understood the basic cultivation method of this, Qing Ti Mu Wang Gong, divided all the mana into two, and suddenly appeared two in the palm of his hand. These two air symbols are made up of many small characters that are escaping, and they are constantly running. The powerful suction is centered on Fang Han and it is distributed. It's awkward. Dozens of Ziju, which are close to Fang Han, suddenly blasted, then withered, turned into dead wood. Nothing is angry, the grass and wood of this purple bamboo are all sucked away in an instant. Everything is clean and there is no drip. So overbearing. Fang Han was shocked. I just wanted to stand up, but my body was like a tree. I had completely lost my ability to move. Looking down, the skin at the joints of my body turned into a bamboo wood texture, as if the whole body was wooded. Chapter 106. Difficulty in Practice. Chapter 106. The Hardships of Practice. Yan Luo Jin Shen, Da San Mu Ling. Fang Han knows that at this time, he is in the key to the body's ignorance, immediately transporting the spirit, urging the body's blood circulation, impacting the joints, and breaking the rigid wood spirit. But this shock, the whole body immediately stabbed, like countless jagged, cutting his body in the sputum, sawing all parts of the body. Fang Han feels that his body will fall apart at any time. Feeling this fierce pain, Fang Han's thoughts boiled in his mind, but there was no sound in his lips. Sure enough, he said that it's a good way to use it. Equivalent to dismemberment. Every time you run Qingdi Muhuanggong, it is equal to salvation from the edge of the fire. This pain of cultivation, although dangerous, is also tempering your will. The stronger the will, the stronger the spirit, and the mana. The stronger it is, only then will you be able to make rapid progress. This kind of cultivation is equivalent to dismemberment. Can you afford it, and what pain is there for you? The sound is cold, and there is no feeling. At this time, Fang Han can only listen to it faintly, and fully operate the Luo Jinjin body. Hey, every time a joint mouth, Fang Han will shake the whole body. Every inch of the flesh is cramped and broken, but he knows that if he stops running the blood, the stiffness of the whole body will become more and more serious, and finally become a wooden man. Indeed, if you cultivate Qingdi Muhuanggong, every cultivation will mean that you will be enchanted once. You need to use your own strength and great perseverance to rescue you. This kind of tempering is generally not dared to try. However, in order to defeat Huatian, Fang Han dared to try anything, which is nothing. Step by step the spirit of operation, urging blood and breaking through the level. Finally, after 3 days and 3 nights, Fang Han's joints exploded. The inside of the muscles swelled to the old heights, and then blasted. A group of Mulings infuriating was blown out by heart and then inhaled. Fang Han palm in the 2 signs. I finally saved myself from the fire. Fang Han suddenly stood, his body trembled, and suddenly the muscles of the strips were like a python, and they swelled outwards, swaying out the swells of the air, and blowing the wilted purple bamboos all over the sky, which is purely muscle strength, no the use of half mana. At the same time, Fang Han felt that after breaking through the pass, some pure wood spirits and their own flesh and blood merged into one, the body is more powerful. The constant circulation of blood and blood, like the Longyuan River, a faint temperament rushed into the mind, and merged with the mana, which further strengthened his own mana. Dissipating the Qingdi Fu and Wu Huang Fu, on the hand, Fang Han's mind moved, and Tianmen opened, and a mana rushed out. This mana is no longer an invisible color, but with a hint of blue-violet gas, like a cloud of smoke. If it is looming, it is like a ghost ***** to condense the shaped body with the incense. Hai fiercely smashed the mana into a big hand and shot it to the ground. Suddenly there was a 3-4 foot thick palm print on the ground. Fang Han felt that his mana had thickened a little, and at least thickened the strength of a Xuanwang Lima. When you are in the flesh, you have to increase your strength. You don't know how many elixir you should take, how many times you have to exercise your bones, and when you reach the magical powers, you can break the *****, and the strength can be increased infinitely. This is the benefit of the magical mystery. Fang Han feels fine. You are only a little small now. You have to turn your own mana into all the infuriating. Are you still in the realm of the real thing? You have to speed up the cultivation. Right, give me the Tianmu needle. Let me soak in the water. When you are familiar with the emperor of the Qing dynasty, you will **** the wood on this needle. You should be able to step into the realm soon. Otherwise, the emperor the work is too overbearing, you will **** this piece of Zizhu forest, and it is not easy to explain to the indigo. He said in detail. After you swallowed the golden fire mirror, the power seemed to be a lot stronger. Unfortunately, this treasure has not been used. It should be refining a few devils. Fang Han listened and said, he saw Tianmu the needle was thrown into the Wangquan River, and the river was swaying. The green gas on the needle of the mouth suddenly came out. A treasure melted so fast, and it was known that the mana was greatly increased. Is it a pity? Take the golden light and the fire mirror for the good things of the Qing Emperor Muhuangong, and pass it out. The teachings of the 10 sects of the fairy tales are all vying to do. He giggled. You hurry into the realm, it is the first priority nowadays. However, the refining of the wood linger cannot be ruined. Try to refine the herbs that are collected from the ground. Now that you have cultivated the emperor of the Qing dynasty, you should not use it. Refining, you can extract the essence of grass. Okay, give it a try. Fang Han took out a few pieces of Ganoderma lucidum from the map of Huangquan, cockroaches, Romania, and other dozens of elixir, piled up in a pile, secretly transported the Qing emperor, violently suck. Suddenly, this pile of elixir erupted, and all of them came into the palm of your hand. After the drug was exhausted, the heap of elixir was turned into a pair of dregs, and all the essences were sucked away. I am the emperor of the Qing dynasty, the emperor of Wanmu, conditioning wood, aura of spirit. Fang Han mana keep running, these drugs are in accordance with the process of refining wood lingden. Then, a sesame-sized panacea appeared in the palm of his hand. Originally, the refining of Mullingdon needed to put a lot of elixir in the Dan furnace, and slowly took out the medicine with the fire. The people of alchemy then used the force to ingest the medicine and practice the medicine. No-vel-b in .c ohm. However, Qingdi Muhuangong is too overbearing, forcibly ingested and controlled Wanmu. You don't have to use fire first, you can order directly. It is as if the emperor is the same as the official below, the king wants to die, and the minister has to die. In fact, the Qingdi Muhuangong, refining to the end, wrong Wanmu for his own use, as a wooden emperor, God is the Qing emperor, the secretary of heaven and earth is alive, omnipotent. This is a very high power. Knowing that the emperor of the Qing dynasty is overbearing. But you are driving away from Wanmu and ordering his life and death to be early. I naturally know that you are an expert in practice. How long will it take me to step into the realm? Fang Han asked. More than 5 years, as long as 3 years. But you have absorbed the Tianmu instinct on the Tianmu needle, you can speed up 10 times, you can practice in 3 or 5 months. It takes so long, Fang Hanyi. Yan quietly asked, do you think? Step into the mysterious secret, one layer is more difficult than the first layer, the general master must be cultivated into infuriating, 20 or 30 years may not be able to become, like cultivation, self-satisfaction, want to choose good metal veins, in which to learn to absorb the essence of hardware, into the mana, reconcile each other. Sitting all day, but also taking a variety of remedies, to resolve the damage of gold gas too. You are not taking Ju Jin Jin Dan, with the help of forgetting the water, I practiced the Jinluo body, and then cultivated the Taigu Qigong, such as the Qing Emperor Muhuangong, and even got the Tianmu God, and I am afraid that I have to practice for 30 years before I can reach the realm of infuriating. A few years ago, there were a lot of supernatural repairs. They practiced for 50 or 6 decades, and they did not practice their true spirits, gradually aging and dying. So nowadays, people are attached to the sect. Only by getting resources can they cultivate quickly. You can also be a big self-reliant Zon Jinjian. You can kill it instantly, will you? Fang Han saw the conversation and asked what he had been asking. He still didn't know how many kinds of cockroaches would be. Wonderful work. Of course I will, even the purple point yin knives, the 7 repairs of the flames of the Mons, the heavens and the mysterious powers will be. The 8 magical powers of the feather door, I will, of course. The 8 magical powers of the feather door, however, it is the middle level of the effort, the most powerful, the most supernatural powers are recorded in the feathers of the ascension. I will not, like Huatian's Panwu vigorously, I will not. He answered straightforwardly. After cultivation into the heavens and the human world, it is the 6 layers of the magical powers, and it belongs to the whole world. The law is one, the realm of the realm is to cultivate a lot of magical powers. Every time there will be a supernatural power, the more supernatural powers that will be condensed in the future will be more strongly on the first floor, directly determine the chances of the longevity secrets. I Wangquanman, the first time the magic road, even Gaia passed the first one of the fairy road, the gods will be less. In fact, I will 36 the door is magical. And Huang Quan's emperor was also a 99-year-old Taiku. Chapter 107, Emperor Wu. Chapter 107 Wudi Great Devil. 99 kinds of ancient magical powers, what is the mighty power, the heavens and the earth? Fang Han heard that Huang Quan the Great and the 99 kinds of Taiku magical powers in the past, heartfelt shock in the heart, do not know how powerful to what extent. Qingdi Muhuangong is also a kind of ancient magical power. If you cultivate well, you will be much more fierce than the purple electric knives. And the big Zon Jinjian, you don't have to go to school, you must learn to learn Beidi. Jin Wangfu. This is the real golden way, to understand the mystery of Jingjin between heaven and earth. He smiled coldly. If you cultivate to the 5th, heaven and earth, you can accommodate all kinds of infuriating in your mind. You can learn the 5 emperors, and Huatian will not kill you. When you try it, he wants to be stable and suppress you, I am afraid there are some difficulties. 5 emperors and great devils. Fang Han quickly asked, is this the Wangquanman's school? It's good, that is, the head of Wangquanman is absolutely out of school. After learning the 5 emperors, it is equal to the qualification of Wangquanman. The emperor of the 5 emperors is the emperor of the Qing dynasty, the emperor of the red emperor, the emperor of the red emperor, the white emperor golden emperor, the black emperor Shui Wangquan. The solemnity of the matter. Qingdi, red emperor, Beidi, black emperor. Only the 4 emperors, are you not saying that the 5 emperors are magical? You should have 5 emperors. Fang Han listened and heard the doubts. Where? There is another one, that is, the golden body that you are practicing now. Further, it is the emperor of the yellow emperor. The emperor is the emperor, the emperor is the emperor. This door is the fusion of the earth and the magic. Now, you can't practice it, but you can't practice it. You can only exercise it. Otherwise, you can't reconcile with the wood emperor. You can't reconcile it. It is immediately blown into a broiler chicken. And even if you don't practice the emperor, now the blood of the Jinluo body is also rushing with the wood emperor. Every time you practice, your body will go into flames once and you have to spend a lot of power to rescue it. If you further cultivate the infuriating, then you have to. He started the other side of the cold, this person has been with each other for so long, and it is time to gradually bottom out. Otherwise, for Fang Han, it is still a mystery. Fang Han will not fully believe in the depths of his heart. At least, if he wants him to look for a pure magic weapon, he will be willing to teach him the exercises. This is a transaction, not a one-hearted friend. However, the interests of the two people are still closely linked, and no one can survive without the two sides. 5 emperors and great devils, these 5 asterisk, all of you will. When will you be willing to teach me? Fang Han asked. These 5 kinds of exercises, one is the earth-shattering supernatural powers. If you all metropolis, that is what the Wangquan Emperor is so powerful, I can imagine it. These 5 magical powers, I am naturally all-powerful. But I can't teach you now. Because your mana is not enough, and the 2 devils have a soul search. If the professor gives you, you are a bad person. Stop, search your mind, what do you do? Search for the 5 magical powers. Then the roots of my Wangquanman are all over. He swayed his claws. Unless you cultivated to the 5th heaven, I will teach one by one, and pass on all the 36 magical powers that I know. You will see your talents and achievements at that time, and the 5 emperors will pass on some of the remnants of Wangquanman. Gradually, you will gradually establish your own power. There are still many things you have to do now. In addition to cultivation, you can inquire about how many remnants are left in Wangquanman and how many have been split. This is naturally no problem, or cultivation. The 5th generation of magical power, heaven and earth. Fang Han pinched his fist. I will definitely reach it soon, if the heavens and the humans cannot reach. That is not qualified to defeat Hua Tiandu. Difficult, hard to add, with your current progress, 10 years of cultivation to heaven and earth is a fantasy, unless there is any adventure. I see you in addition to retreat, get travel, look for deep mountain caves, ancient relics, find what adventures have a chance to have a chance. He shook his head. First practice in the realm of the real thing, consolidate the mana into the true spirit, the power is also bigger, and go out safer. Fang Han took out a blood dan, to swallow it, supplemented the vitality and nutrition of the body, and then crossed the knees. Sit down, run the whole body mana, the left palm condenses into a green emperor, and the right palm condenses into a wooden emperor, wholeheartedly, drawing the aura of the purple bamboo forest. Now he runs the 2 hegemonic records, which have been slightly controlled, and will not the dried purple bamboo into the deadwood. However, the suction is still a little bigger. Gradually, in the entire Zizhu forest, the purple bamboos are constantly sizzling, and a blue-violet airflow is formed, forming a vortex and projecting toward him. His body is constantly being wooden, and constantly being washed away. Every time he rushes once, Fang Han will swallow a blood dan, to supplement the consumption of physical blood circulation. His new refining blood dan it is made by killing the blood of the white hair flying stiff, which contains a touch of the Demon King lineage. Now, in the process of taking blood dan, the Emperor's blood is also integrated into his body. In the process of rushing to prevent the fire from becoming wooden, he cooperates with the Jin Luo Jin, and cooperates with each other. It complements each other and enhances the degree of body condensing, the strength of the organs, and provides a stronger spirit to the mind, and can also be transformed into more mana. Day by day, outside the Indigo Peak, the heavy snow has stopped, the sun appears, the snow melts, and the world is warm and warm. After more than 3 months, the earth rejuvenates and spring comes. It is the germination of all things, the lush vegetation, the aura of heaven and earth, and more abundant. Fang Han was in the Zizhu forest and sat for more than 3 months. N-O-V-E in .C Om. Among these 3 months, he ate blood dan, and he drank French water. Because the blood is pure and does not need to be excreted, even if there are some impurities in the body's stomach and intestines, the mana is slightly operated and it is directly brought out of the body. Plus he has a net clothes, there is no need to clean the body, a little turn, the body is clean. So after practicing for so long, he is just like the one who has just come into practice. He can't feel the passage of time from his body. The only difference is that his body seems to be more delicate, and it is distributed in every pore. The warmth of the spring breeze is like the **** of Sikon, echoing with the spring. Each of his pores continually swallowed mana, and now his mana became a thick cyan color, exactly the same color as the bamboo of Zizulan. Sometimes, the mana of the pores in the pores is heavier, falling to the ground, and even rooting, and growing a root of purple bamboo. Then the spring breeze blows, and the purple bamboo that the manized has dissipated. At this time, the 2, Qingdi Fu, and Wu Huang Fu, in Fang Han's hands have been hidden in the body and no one can see them. But the suction in the body is even greater. This suction, not only limited to the Zizulan, seems to cover the entire Indigo Peak. The grass and medicine fields are all spurred. The spring breeze outside the Blue Peak, the bright spring, the aura of all things sprouting, have also been drawn to the Indigo Peak. At the top of the mountain, the indigo that was cultivated in Danfang was finally alarmed and opened his eyes. At the same time, Naong was also practicing in Danfang and felt something. After the dragon swallowed the yin and yang Wansho Dan that Fang Han gave to her, with the help of indigo, the spirit has been transformed into a mana, and it has been firmly and steadily stepped into the mysterious secret. Now, every day, the manpower is heated and the means of tempering to make the sluggish mana flexible and familiar. Play the foundation firmly. In the past 3 months, she has also become a true disciple. However, Long Yao wants to consolidate the infuriating, but it is still very early, but she has the advantage, that is, indigo has carefully pointed to her. That spring wind Ling Shu, how can there be such a great power? She felt the whole Indigo Peak, the madness of Mulling's vitality, all projected to Fang Han. How do I feel? These wood aura, it seems to worship the emperor and go to the Zizulan. Chapter 108. Mu Wangjin. Chapter 108 Mu Huang Infuriating. This is the foundation of Chunfeng Mulling, but it is much more subtle than Mulling, even higher than Tianmu. It should be a top-level magical power of wood, which is really not simple. It seems it is necessary to convert the mana into infuriating, so fast, and it is beyond my expectation. Indigo handles a trick, and a squirt is sprayed on the stove, and a pale blue is condensed in her palm. The medicinal herbs, such as sapphire. These medicinal herbs were all poured into a medicine gourd, loaded and handed to the dragon. Fang Han has a secret, don't trace it, so as not to provoke Feng Qingshe to be unhappy. Most of the true disciples have secrets. If you inquire about the secrets of others, others will be hostile to you. Fang Han does not say him, you cultivated into a magical power. In the mysterious world, I have been working hard for 3 months in my life. The use of mana is basically skillful. The elders of the martial arts have also taught you the Wan Shui Shen Wei, which matches the blood of the dragon in your body, complements each other, and is even more powerful. It must be twice the result with half the effort. This is a gourd blue crystal Dan, which can constantly consolidate the body, replenish the body, provide a strong vitality, and can help you to cultivate the eternal waters. After you bring it, you can go out and experience it. Hear the sea, the ancient ruins. There are some miracles in the virtual world, you can explore and explore, maybe there will be miracles. Long Hao took over the gourd, thank you for the indigo master. Why didn't the sister go to the virtual one? The return to the virtual is an ancient relic, a battlefield of the fairy magic war, many masters got the adventure in it, Feng Qingshe got in it. Some of the legacy of the ancient lady, the magical advancement. I have been there a few times, but the situation is complicated. In the past, the ancient fairy wars, earth-shattering, penetrated the passage of our world and the infinite world. If you want to go deep into it, it's dangerous. And exploring in the periphery, for me, say no use. Indigo shook his head. The sister has an ambition and wants to cultivate to the longevity secrets. She also learns the exquisite fairy goddess and creates exquisite and blessed land. In the past, Linglong Shanzun, a disciple of Taiyaman 3,000 years ago, was taught by a evil door. Screaming and killing, to abolish her mana, she escaped, and in a hurry, re-established the portal, actually created a splendid blessed land, and finally became one of the 10 gates of the fairy road. Taiyaman are not allowed, 3,000 years ago, only the fairy road 9 the door. Long said. Because of the exquisite annihilation of 3,000 years ago, the present Shandao sects have relaxed some of the other martial arts exercises. Apart from being too old-fashioned, it is not forbidden to disciples to learn other magical powers. Huatian must reform the door of the feathers, sort out the martial art, and learn the old-fashioned rules of the door, and set a more strict rules. If he cultivated into the longevity and became a well-behaved generation, my days would be limited. Sooner or later, I have to learn the exquisite opening ceremony. I think that Feng Qingshe also has such an idea. Indigo slightly vomited, but you go to the expedition this time, looking for fairy tales, you can go with Fang Han. Fang Han, this person has a big chance. Plus strength, it is a good helper for you. Being talking between, booming. On the Indigo Peak, the vegetation was gently fluctuating, and there was a scent everywhere. The tablets of the drug field were slightly wilted, blood ginseng, Ganoderma lucidum, medicinal field, Zhuguo medicine field, Tianma medicine field, dragon snake herbal medicine field, Shualian medicine field, and the spiritual medicine and wood aura in the thousands of acres of medicine fields, a lot of passing, the mighty rushing up, they all gathered in the place where Zizhualin was standing on the knees, and then incorporated into his own mana. Indigo Peak is one of the 5 true mountain peaks. There are more than 1,000 kinds of elixir. The quality of the medicine field is much better than that of other true disciples. It is so powerful that Fang Han is so tempted by the cold. All kinds of spiritual medicines and woods are full of aura, and they all come together in the mana of Fang Han. Fang Han only feels his own mana, full of thousands of kinds of elixir, Lingmu, Lingsao, Lingen. And even the warmth of spring. These breaths have gathered together, and they have smeared their own mana, making his whole body completely wooden, and the growth of Wanmu in his mind seems to explode. There are so many elixir on the Indigo Peak, he has been wilted for a long time. Long Hao quickly flew out, saw this situation, was taken aback. This is no use, replanting is, it takes a lot of effort. Indigo also teleported out and looked at the square in the purple bamboo forest. He took the herbs, thousands of medicines, Wanmu's aura, not afraid. Wood gas phase rushing, ignoring the fire. It seems that his body is already wooded, and the fire is gone. And how can he solve it? You can see that his refining process can add a lot of experience to you, and you can take a lot of detours in the future. It is. Between the words, Indigo also looked at Fang Han deeply, watching how Wanmu aura gathered in his body, how he resolved. This time I went into flames. If it doesn't work, I will be finished. Fang Han, at this time, I felt that Wanmu was in the air and it was very uncomfortable. He is now whole body, really woodized, and the whole person appears on the skin. Out of the wooden texture, it seems to be the annual ring of the trees. The whole person looks like a lifelike wood carving. He just felt the rejuvenation of the earth outside, knowing that he had been sitting here for more than 3 months, plus spring, lush vegetation, vitality, is the best time to cultivate the Qing Emperor Muhuangong challenge Huatian. They all have a 10-year period. Every past day, they are all dignified in life and death, and honor and disgrace are imminent. In the past 3 months, Fang Han's heart couldn't help but feel a little anxious, so the exercise was agitated. As a result, Wan Mu's aura came to worship, and he rushed into his mana, and he couldn't take it. There is no way, he can only clench his teeth, resisting, combing the aura, not making it messy. But in the end, that Wanmu aura is getting more and more fierce, he had to use the Tianmu ***** to suppress. Oh, a needle-shaped clear light, rising from the top of his head, and expanding between the blink of an eye, turned into a cyan giant wood, constantly spinning, and all the grass and spirits were also absorbed. Fang Han took this opportunity and immediately began to operate the Jin Luo Jin body, violently rushed off. Oh, the wooden texture of the body continued to explode, showing a smooth skin, but Fang Han only broke through a heavy barrier, and felt that his physical strength was not good enough to swallow a blood dan. Now he can't move his hands and feet, he can only swallow the drug. As soon as the blood dan entered the abdomen, the force was turned on, and suddenly the physical and qi and blood circulation was increased. It broke through a layer of wooden joints. Fang Han has experience under this. Every time he feels that his physical strength is not good, he swallows blood dan, and finally the blood in the body runs faster and faster. It seems that the rivers are flooding, rushing and whistling, even a few feet away, people use the ears can hear the sound of blood rushing. It is simply shocking. How does his body succumb to such a degree? The wood becomes like this, and it breaks through the barriers. His blood is running, and there is a sound of screaming and transmissive. This tyrannical degree is unheard of. At least 20 horsepower is required. Zhan Huang Ma, Long Shaoran said, her calculation of strength is very precise, because it is related to fighting, how much power others use, how much power you use to resolve, leaving enough room to wait for an opportunity to fight back, force to the old, or force less, there are big disasters. Yu Huaman's true disciple is now 110, the original is 180. Fang Han, Long Hao is promoted, one of which is heavy, and there are many people with 2 heavy, but it is impossible to force the 2 with the power of 10 black and yellow horses. Even if Long Hao himself, there is a real dragon in his body, very noble, but there is no such power. Look carefully, don't be distracted, he wants to consolidate insane. Indigo suddenly shouted. Hey, just as the dragon was surprised, Fang Han had already broken through the relevant mouth, and the body stood up. The Tianmu God needle on the head exploded and turned into a blue air flow, which was not in the body. Later, Fang Han felt his mana suddenly changed. and Wanmu aura, combined closely, no longer separate from each other, at the same time. His mana has also changed color, and it has become a pure blue wood color with a bright and noble yellow gas. This is the Wood Emperor. After 3 months of cultivation, the Tianmu needle was melted, and Fang Han finally stepped into the second realm of the mysterious secret, the real thing, turning the mana into infuriating, and making the fakes come true. NOVELBJN.C Ohm. And his infuriating, high quality, is the Emperor of Wanmu. The Wood Emperor is infuriating, restraining the cultivation of all the grass and spirit in heaven and earth. Chapter 109, Reincarnation Peak. Chapter 109 Reincarnation Peak. Tiandi Muhuang, Giant Wood Suppression. With the left hand grabbing, a cyan giant wood suspended in the air and hit down. Bang, the rocks are flying, and the mud is tumbling, as if a big cockroach is arching underground. The ground was actually hit and collapsed, forming a hole full of 3 or 5 people, as if a well was carved. This is Fang Han in the use of Wood Emperor infuriating, condensed into a green wood, hit the ground, try the power. This test, really powerful. Fang Han did not practice between the real gas, the full force of the mana, slamming the palms down, slammed the ground up to a few feet deep, and now use Wood Emperor. The giant wood that has been condensed has greatly increased its power than before. If you don't say anything else, the impact will be enormous, and the Shira with a hard shell will be directly hit into a group of flesh and blood. This is the power of infuriating. My current mana has been transformed into a woody innocence, and the power is really thick, and it has increased by more than 5 times. I can take more than 100 horses in the air without practicing the infuriating. Now I can hold at least 5. More than 100 horses. Yes, it is more than 500 horses. Fang Han secretly calculated his current strength, at least 500 horses of the black and yellow horses. If you fight for the old life, emptiness, catch, really catch, even 600s of horses are also not necessarily said. Mana turned into infuriating, the power actually increased by 5 times. The third dimension of the magical mystery. How many times will the power increase by converting the infuriating gas into helium? Although Fang Han knows that the mysterious secret is more difficult than one, the strength will multiply every time he progresses, but he is still scared by the skyrocketing power. What is there? You cultivated the Emperor of the Qing dynasty, the most advanced Taoism of the ancient woods, and after practicing the infuriating, it is naturally more powerful than the average person, and you are in the infuriating atmosphere. The needle itself is a treasure, and it has the power of 100 horses. Now it is all combined by you, adding 5 times the power. It is not surprising. I felt the horror of Fang Han, and I didn't think so. Come on. Fang Han took all the wooden infuriating into the body, looked up, and saw the dragon Zan body stepping on the tip of the purple bamboo, a yellow shirt, stepping on the bamboo leaves, no weight at all, with the wind swinging is like a butterfly in the wind. It is a fairy, knowing that this is a magical power. Otherwise, it is impossible to break the common sense by standing in the flesh and standing on the bamboo leaves. NOVELBJN.C Ohm. Fang Han, congratulations to you, actually in just 3 months, stepped into the second secret of the magical secrets, and practiced infuriating. This speed is really shocking. The average person can take this step for 30 or 50 years. Even if we are a disciple of the fairy tale of the door, the resources are rich, and many brothers and sisters help each other, and it takes at least 10 years and 8 years. Long Hao looked at Fang Han's work and smiled and congratulated. Where is a little faster, I am a little bit better. You have finally become a mysterious secret. It is really gratifying. 1 step to the sky. Fang Han is not moving. I still have to thank Fang Han for you. If you have achieved something in the future, it depends on your generosity to donate Dan. A yin and yang shuden, increase my 10-year-old Shoyuan, more than 600 years of cultivation, longevity is expected. To be honest, the other side is still very grateful. Right, when it comes to medicinal herbs, I have to refine the wood linden to the sect. I have been delayed for 3 months. If some people take this attack, I am afraid that I will be punished. Medicine, Fang Han suddenly remembered such a thing, and at the same time he is now empty. What, Blood Dan, and Bilu Daden, have all been eaten. These 3 months of retreat cultivation, non-stop rushing, running the scorpion to prevent the body from wooden, physical nutrition and consumption, swallowing medicinal herbs several times more than usual, has not been enough to eat. Where to get to kill Shira, or white hair flying, refining Blood Dan. Otherwise, nutrition is not enough, it is a great hindrance to cultivation. Fang Han calculated that he should go out and experience. Mu Ling Dan, Indigo Master knows your difficulties. I have already refining 1,200 tablets. I arranged for the owner of Hongyi County to go to the Danfang of the sect. I have handed over this year's mission for you. Don't worry about this. Long Hao described the way. What? Thank you, my sister. Fang Hanyi listened, a lot easier. Alchemy himself has to eat it, and it will take a long time to hand it over to the sect. At this time, Fang Han felt that it would be a lot of good to have a good relationship with Indigo. A yin and yang Shodan, and did not give away. This is nothing, right? There is one more thing. Long Xiaodan said. You are already a true disciple. Tiangong has built a mountain, palace, and you will name it yourself because I have been sitting in practice for a few months. I am afraid that the mountain peaks are deserted. So I sent some outside disciples to take care of them. I also took some elixir seeds here and gave them a variety of elixir. Now I must have it has become a climate. Oh, my mountain is built, let's go and see. Fang Han heard a joy, can't help but want to see. Okay, let's go. My Dragon Girl Peak is not far from your mountain, separated by 100 miles. Let's take care of each other in the future. Long said, and, the Red County owner has joined the Indigo. Yes, I got the personal guidance of the Indigo Master. Your little crane, the fairy, was also slightly changed by the Indigo Master, and it was made into a big move. The Indigo Master waited for me to be thin. Fang Han got up and flew side by side with the dragon. He flew hundreds of miles. After crossing the mountains, he saw a peak rising from the ground. The momentum was like a sword, and the mountain was cultivated. 5 palaces, magnificent, pavilions, new everywhere. Meow, the secular. To cultivate such a palace in this mountain, I am afraid that millions of people will be worked hard for decades, and the Shandao school will be built in a few months. Sighed. Yes, the martial arts sent a powerful demon. It was established overnight. The only difficulty is to set up the mountain, but the elders of the Tiangong are not in the same position. The room and the square fell to the top of the palace in front of the mountain. Suddenly, many disciples greeted them. Si Long sister, Fang Han brother. Fang Shishang. The outside disciples of Yuhuaman, and even the inner disciples, most of them want to know the true disciples of Baji, to get some benefits, or to point to 2 sentences, they are all inexhaustible. Long Yao shouted some reliable outside disciples to the Fang Hanshan Peak to plant medicines, do some things, these disciples also asked for it. I saw many outside disciples, and they all bowed to themselves. Fang Hanzheng wanted to give some gifts. But when I remembered that my medicinal herbs had been eaten, there was no extra flying sword. There was no magic weapon. There were several pieces of spar on the body, but also things can't be given. In this way, nothing was sent, and I couldn't help but frown, and there was a bit of awkwardness in my heart. Fortunately, Long Hao seems to see the shackles of Fang Han, the hand shakes, each disciple gave a Jing Yuan Dan to go out, which relieved Fang Han's embarrassment. Fang Han, look at this mountain, what is better? Long Yao waved, these disciples scattered, and Fang Han entered the core of the largest palace, Danfang. After 9 years, I will fight with Huatian. If we do not win, everything is a cloud of smoke. Although we are huge, but in the past 30 years, Hedong, 30 years in Hexi. Feng Shui turns, he is arrogant in front of me today, maybe it's my turn to be shameful after 9 years. This mountain is called Reincarnation. Fang Handing set the name of his own mountain. Fang Han, your courage, I can't. But I heard that recently Hua Tian has called Fang Qingwei to see Tiandu Peak. Long Hao suddenly said. Chapter 110, Return to the Virtual. Chapter 110 is null. Fang Qingwei is just a small person, Huatian will notice her. Although I challenged Huatian, but in his capacity, I am afraid I still can't look at me. I didn't even regard me as an opponent. Fang Hanyi, I don't know what Long Yao suddenly said to himself about Fang Qingwei. He is now practicing as the Wooden Emperor, and he is also the number 1. He is afraid that he can stand firm in the true disciples. At least if he meets Jinshitai, he can hit the other side to find his teeth. Hua Tiandu Master will certainly not put you in the heart, but he put Fang Qingshiji on the heart. Long Hao clap his hands. He took your 7 gourd, this thing is clearing the snow sister, retreat, I don't know. I know that I will not give up. To the character of Qing Shui's sister, I am afraid that it will cause an uproar among the true disciples. This thing, he also has to be careful. I don't know how he is good. Fang Han frowned. Wait a few days to know. I am here to ask you one thing, are you interested in going to the ocean to go to a sneak expedition? Long Hao returned the topic to the right idea. The return to the ocean. Fang Hanyi listened and fell into meditation. He does not know that he is guilty. There are also records in the worlds. It is a mysterious place in the ocean. It is rumored that all the seawater flows there. It is because of the ancient fairy wars. There is a battle in the virtual, the world has been penetrated, and the sky outside the sky and even the alien space are connected. N-O-V-E in .c ohm. In the vein, there are many ancient ruins, the remains of the fairy war, and many treasures. What is the ancient spirit, the treasure, and even the Tao, and the legendary fairy? The skeleton of the ancient demon god, the wreckage of the demon, the flesh and blood of the master of the longevity secret, and so on, the endless treasures are hidden in it. However, this is also very dangerous, the environment is bad, and some of the broken voids are more involved in the change of space. Even if the master of the longevity secrets enters, it may not come out. In some places, there are more devils coming from the passage outside the domain, in which they are entrenched. Fang Qingshe and Mo Shuai went to the imaginary to explore, and met the Scorpion Demon King. The two together to reduce their killing, got many benefits. This thing, Fang Han also knows. For many years, I don't know how many disciples, the disciples, went to the expedition to explore, and wanted to get ancient Qian, Dan medicine, Feijian, baby. It is true that many people have had an adventure, but more people are caught in it and die. Therefore, in the worlds, disciplining disciples, to go to the virtual expedition, must be cautious. In fact, whether it is a disciple of the immortal or a disciple of the demon, the most important thing in the practice is to travel around the world and look for the treasures of heaven and earth and the remains of the ancients. This is a necessary part of the practice. It is called, clashing the fairy. A disciple, the greater the adventure, the deeper the fan yuan. The monk must have great perseverance and persist in it, and he will succeed in more than half. But the other half is to rely on luck. The so-called is to find things in people, things are in the sky. How difficult is it to practice mortal people? With its own strength, it is not easy to reverse the number of days and change your life. There must be luck and fairyhood, with the help of external forces. This is also a gas transport. Now, Long Yao and Fang Han go to the virtual treasure hunt, which is to see how their fairy edge, how the air transport. Take a chance. If you can't touch it, you can practice it. In the vein, there are many elixir, and some can also be used to refine the best. I have closed my door and practiced hard. I can't surpass Huashendu in 10 years. I have to go out and experience it. I will hit the fairy tales. Besides, my medicinal herbs are finished, and I have to find medicines. Fang Hengsen thought, now that on the peak of the reincarnation, although many elixir have been planted, the heat is too shallow. The nutrients needed to maintain the daily body can only be reluctant, but they cannot be used to refine the spirit, enhance mana. Good, I have to prepare. Tomorrow morning, let's go to the virtual. Hit a fairy, find a treasure. Fang Han took a thigh and made up his mind. Good, Long Yao stood up and flew out. Witch, you can come out now. Clean up, go with me. Suddenly, Fang Han's body flashed yellow. Grand Ashura witch, Fang Zhaolin came out. She has been hiding in Wangquan figure cultivation. In the Yan under the tight control, I witnessed Fang Han's cultivation into a wood emperor, and I already knew that I was afraid that I really did not have the idea of getting out. She is now only the first major cultivation of the mysterious secrets. After Fang Han enters the mysterious secrets, she can suppress her firmly, let alone cultivate now into infuriating. Moreover, it is the wooden emperor, in the great emperor of the 5 emperors, and the master of the true atmosphere, can't help him, let alone the witch of a lower realm. A realm, the difference is different, the power has turned several times. When it is no better than the flesh, you can challenge the leap. Yes, the witch did not dare to resist, and spit out words in her mouth. This Dan furnace, or the instrument of the inner court disciple, is too cold. I hope that after returning from the virtual, I will change a sword. If I can change it into a treasurer, it will be even better. Treasure Dan furnace, I am coveted. Fang Han looked at Dan's furnace in Danfang and shook his head. This Dan furnace was in his inner court and was moved out to the mountain. As a true disciple, and also at the level of the Dang furnace, it is indeed very chilly. Return to the virtual, return to the virtual. After everything was arranged, Fang Han turned over the world, and read everything that was introduced to the virtual. Tiandu Peak, Danfang. The first true disciple, sitting cross-legged next to his Dan furnace. Huashendu's Dan furnace, height 36 people, 6 feet and 6 feet wide, do not know what materials are made, non-gold non-ferrous, non-stone non-jade, the outer layer of smoke clouds shrouded, seems to have endless the space's average. Now this Dan furnace, in the violent swallowing, suddenly shrinks, turned into a fist to come big, and then expanded into a giant. This is constantly shrinking and getting bigger. Shows an unprecedented magic. Can be bigger, shrinking the Dan furnace, it is unheard of, never seen. It has exceeded the scope of the treasure. Puff. Suddenly, this Dan furnace turned into a high person, from which spit out a gourd. This gourd, Beoguang Yingying, scentful. 7 kills come, Shanjian is in the line. The treasured gourd was received in the hands, Watian was hand-picked, and then 7 swords were sprayed in the Dan furnace, flew into the gourd, and suddenly the gourd the sound is loud, and the sound of the whistling sound is faint. Your sister Fang Qingshe will soon go out, I have taken away the square gourd, it is not a small magic weapon. If you say the truth, even the demon ***** gave his demon sword I may not be rare. The magic of Fang Han is faint, not my disciples, so he rectified him. This 7 gourd, I have re-refined for you, erased the spirit of the demon, turned into a fairy, put the inside of the serious smoke into all kinds of heavenly treasures, Ruyi ***, and practiced the wishful gold smoke. It is much more powerful than the serious smoke, and I also give you 7 flying swords, arranged for you to kill the sword. Hooray! Now I am giving you, I think there is nothing to say after your sister leaves the customs. The gourd in the hands of Hua Tiandu turned out to be 7 gourds, but now through his refining, the power is even greater. He threw the gourd, and the gourd automatically flew out of Danfang and fell to the outside of Fang Qingwei. Thank you for the Chinese brother. Fang Qingwei looked serious, took the gourd, but his eyes were ecstasy. This gourd is not called a 7 gourd. I take a name, called the Wishful Fairy. Hua Tiandu's voice, passed it out. Chapter 111, Ocean. Chapter 111 Ocean, Xie Master Brother. Fang Qingwei took over the Ruyi Shanyu, and quickly squandered blood and smelt, feeling the powerful power from the Shenzhen, suddenly bursting with anger, but secretly biting his teeth. Square cold, you are a dog slave, I will let you know what is the master. Do you want to take this wishful fairy to find Fang Han? Hua Tiandu seems to have seen Fang Qingwei's heart, and he pondered for a while before saying, Fang Han, this son has many secrets. And he has cultivated into the mysterious secret, I am afraid that I will not be able to deal with him, or I will practice well and be promoted to the mysterious secrets. I will leave you with a year of medicinal herbs. Go. Master is really a leader. In the future, I will be able to reorganize my door and compete with Tai. Only the masters and other magical and thunder methods can lead the door to prosperity. Fang Qingwei knows what to say at this time. Ha 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 ha. Hua Tiandu smiled very interesting, a large sleeve, and suddenly a mana wrapped Fang Qingwei, sent Tiandu Feng. With the wishful fairy, my strength has improved 100 times. The island owner of the Night Island, I heard that this time I will go to the virtual expedition with his father. His father is a master of the mysterious secrets, I list a shawl, go together hit a fairy, if I can get what ancient medicine in the vein, pure young magic, promoted to the magical mystery. ... Fang Han, you will wait. Fang Qingwei Tiandu Feng, the heart of the calculation for a while, the Ruyi Shanyu, among the bones blossoming out of a golden smog, bursting with sandalwood, the golden smoke, there seems to be a note flashing, array the magical sounds of the devils are refined and the spirit of the people is refined. There is also a thumb-sized gold armor god, swimming in the smoke. This golden smoke wraps around Fang Qingwei, whistling, turning into a golden long rainbow, rushing to the sky, cutting the white clouds in the sky into pieces, and the power is much larger than that of the Salang smoke. Ruyi Jinyan, Hua Tiandu really said that he was right. After he was sacred by the fastism, the 7 gourd was more powerful, and he was upright and masculine. One day passed, the next morning, the reincarnation peak, the spring is brighter, the birds are screaming in the branches, looking for peach blossoms, sea otters and other petals, a line of golden light jumping from the distant horizon, morning light swinging, more intense spring atmosphere, so that every inch of skin on the body is active from the outside to the inside. The Qingdi Muhuangong of Fang Han's cultivation is the most suitable day for practicing. It is spring, bathed in the morning light, and the mana blends with the aura of wood and transforms into Woody Emperor, which makes his cultivation more honest. Every time he runs the wooden infuriating, Fang Han feels that he has more strength, and he has a deeper understanding of the spring of vegetation. Fang Han, let's go. Just as Fang Han was sitting on the edge of the mountain cliff, the dragonfly slowly flew down, landed on the ground, and set foot on the mossy rock, and it did not move. Fang Han's reincarnation after the peak of the mountain cliff, below is 1,000 cliffs, but also covered with moss. If you don't pay attention, it will fall down and fall into a broken bone. Even if you become a master, you dare not stay too much, but for the master of the magical mystery said, but is flat. No vel bjn.c ohm. Good. Fang Han Meng stood up. Fang Zhaolin, are you ready? Fang Zhaolin, who is also sitting on the knees, opened her eyes, the magic light flashed in her eyes, the mana rolled, and the morning mist was washed away. It is also a good thing to go to the virtual. I have long wanted to collect there. The inner body of some monsters enhances strength. This is another master of the mysterious mystery. Long Hao has long discovered the witch, and his heart is also a bit horrified. The master of the magical mystery is not the same. This is the slave I have been practicing in the underground. I am a big Ashura. My Fajing was obtained when she fell to her. Fang Handao. A big Ashura, that is the aristocrat who has the title of the demon. You have to be careful to find your troubles in the Senate. Long Hao carefully said, the big Ashura is equivalent to the true disciple of Yuhuaman. If someone catches the true disciple of Yuhuaman as a slave, I am afraid that the elders of Yuhuaman will immediately kill the door, maintain the reputation of the martial art, and even the asterisk of the eaves. Will shoot. If the Mozu master kills us, the feather door will not sit idly by, but don't worry. Moreover, if the elders of the underground Mozu come to us for trouble, I just designed to kill. A big Ashura, all over the body treasures. Fang Hanzui said fiercely, but his heart was secretly vigilant. Let's go. The sea is far from here and can't be delayed. Between the talks, Fang Han body flew up. A wood emperor was sprayed around the whole body, wrapped in the body, forming a armor-like robes. Behind the jersey, the airflow continued to spray with a sigh of relief. It flew for dozens of miles. Long Hao, the witch quickly followed up. After Fang Han practiced infuriating, the mana was strong and powerful, and the volley was flying faster. Moreover, among the Qingdi Muhuanggong, there is a special turbulent infuriating, and the method of volley flying, the flight resistance is reduced to a minimum, and the speed is increased. Using mana flight, there is no skill, but the technique is opposite. Each school has its own method of flying, and even individuals have their own flying experience. Some people use mana, condense on the two ribs, form the general things of the wings, gliding in the air. Some people put the mana in the back and keep spraying. Some people, the mana is condensed on the soles of the feet, the air is swaying, and the void is striding. The step is dozens of miles. Some people, in order to save energy, spur the flying sword, put their body force on the flying sword, step on the flight. All kinds of flying methods are the use of mana infuriating, all kinds of clever, in one heart. Fang Han, this is the first violent flight after practicing the infuriating air. The infuriating air wraps the whole body, forming a fusiform shape, which makes the resistance of the airflow smaller. After that, it keeps jetting and oscillating, and feels its own body. Shuttle, the airflow violently whistling in the ear, the rivers and rivers below, the road goes far, very incomparable. Before he was condensed into infuriating, the light was flying faster than the crane ferry, but it could not be too violent, otherwise the mana could not help, and the flight was too fast, the mana tore the airflow, rubbing each other, will shake the mana. It's different now. I heard that further, cultivation to the realm of suffocation, flying faster, can surpass the sound. And cultivation to the fifth heaven, the magic and the atmosphere rubbing each other, the speed is extremely fast, you can rub the intense flame, like a meteor, this speed, I don't know what it's going to be. Fang Han knows that his speed of flight is not so fast. If he really reaches the point of friction with the atmosphere and burns out a fierce flame, then there is no need for any magic weapon. When a collision strikes, the enemy will die because of the magic weapon. Speed, not yet fast. Half a flight, Yuhuashan has gone far. Fang Han estimated that it has reached 2,000 miles away. The infuriating is also somewhat unsatisfactory. The mana in his mind seems to be slightly exhausted. He landed on a hill and sat down on his knees. He used the law of the gods of the emperor, and regained his spirit and mana. In fact, he has a crystal, can fly violently, but the law is used to supplement the mana cost of the road, it is too violent. Sitting for a while, restoring the spirit, behind the witch, Long Hao, this is catching up, are a little tired. Fang Han, you are flying too fast. You have to keep some strength when you fly. If you encounter someone in the magic road, see if you have a bad mana, take your cheap and kill you to alchemy, refining the magic weapon, then it will be miserable. On the outside, no more than the feather door, the demon around the feather door does not dare to approach, but when it comes outside, the people we cultivate will encounter risks at any time. And when we fly, we must first hide the body with a hidden character, so as not to be hidden. Guangwu was shot and discovered by people on land. Long Yao sat down, swallowed a medicinal herb, adjusted for a while, and restored his physical strength and mana. I know, just flying fast, forgetting the shape. Fang Han nodded. After a short break, Fang Han knew some outings, carefully, hiding his body, retaining his strength, and flying gently. In this way, flying and stopping, day and night, after 2 days and 2 nights, suddenly the front of the water is suffocating, the air is extremely moist, all the slimy is water, and there is a salty smell in the wind. Children, there are bursts of dangerous atmosphere that are not clear. Go to the sea. The dragon spirit is shocked. It seems to have a special spirit for the ocean. Fang Han saw a circle of water vapor, which was absorbed by the pores of her body, and cooperated with the mana, refined, swallowed, and a trace of water in essence, integrated into the body. He knows that the dragon is practicing the **** of water, and he cultivates faster in the sea, like a fish. The **** of water is also one of the 8 supernatural powers of Yuhuaman. Purple electric yin lei knife, Tian Han Zan Ming Jin, Bai Yan 7 repair Mang, Tian Mu ***, Big self-supplementary Jin Janqi, Wan Shui Shank, Mountain refining scorpion, Zhugong God shape surgery. After these 8 supernatural powers, after the successive cultivation, every door can cross the world. The magnificent sea appears in front of Fang Han's eyes, and the blue waves are vast. Until the horizon, no one knows how far it is. How many secrets are there and how dangerous. We have spent nearly 3 days from the door of Yuha. If it is the Indigo Master, half an hour will come. The spring blossoms and faces the sea, and the dragon sighs. The sea is very dangerous. After we fly in, the mana is exhausted and I am afraid that I can't find a rest on the island, let alone the ones that come to it. I don't know what dragons are there, can you rest for us? It is best to be a magic weapon like a ship. Fang Han has read the worlds, and has already known the various drawbacks of the monks entering the sea. Of course, otherwise I will not come to this sea. I have a Taixia gas boat. It is the Indigo Master's collection of the sky and the clouds of the air. When it is collected, it is a group of clouds. If it is shaken, it is not a big deal. Small airships. Long Yao has a well thought out, but we should not be too swaying. In this sea, there are many self-reliant sects of the mysterious secrets to disperse the island. Although far less than the fairy tales, the conflict is not good. Quote. Chapter 112, Black King Snake. Chapter 112 Blackwater King Snake. Between heaven and earth, in addition to the 10 gates of the Immortal Road, the 7 devils of the devils, the 5 demon roads, and the devils of the earth, there are many scattered martial art. Of course, these scattered sects are not the martial arts sects in the secular, but the sects. Fang Han is very clear about this. The head of the sect is generally a master of the mysterious secrets, and there will be no giants with longevity. Because of the giants of the longevity and mystery, if you want to create a martial art, you will definitely be alongside the fairy devil and become a giant. 3,000 years of Timon's exquisiteness, it is because of cultivation to the longevity secret, become a giant, only to create a splendid blessing, the fairy road 9 doors into the fairy road 10. However, there are some powerful sects in the sects of the sects. The magical powers are also very powerful. The martial arts are one, and the sacred sects are squandered. Like Fang Han himself, he played a night island with the party Snow, and the night island is a scattered martial art. The island master is a master of the magical mystery. He sent his son to the Feather Gate to learn, increase not the weight of the night island, so as not to be sent out by other scattered doors. The struggle to disperse the sects is much more intense than the 10 Commandments. Vendetta, vying for constant, because we must rob resources, cheats, exercises, and strive for a long-lived secret. Unlike the 10 Commandments, the resources are abundant, and each other has signed an offensive and defensive agreement, and there will be no large-scale fighting. On land, there are many empires, and the empire is sheltered by the 10 Commandments of the Immortal, and there are not many sects. However, in the uninhabited sea, resources are abundant, the elixir is endless, and the scattered sects are more, and all of them are arrogant and brave. The general master of the master, there is no rules, the law is bound, you can do whatever you want, no matter what the evil spirits, as long as there is interest, immediately kill the goods, escape, hide. In addition to the careful behemoths and various natural disasters in the sea, special attention should be paid to these scattered repairs. This is a deserted beach, belonging to the Daksu dynasty. It should be a shallow sea coral reef. We went there to find a blood coral that was more than 500 years old. It was an important formula of Jingyuan Dan. When Long Hao saw Fang Han's contemplation, he did not know what he was thinking. He pointed to the front and flew over. Jingyuan Dan is not as good as Blood Dan, but it is also a good medicine. You can add strength to the 10 heads of Shira. It is also good to collect blood coral alchemy. Fang Han also flew past and came to a shallow sea, only to see dozens of in the shallow sea of Zhang's depth, white sand and clear water, colored fish swim back and forth, colorful poisonous sea snakes, sea otters secretly smashed among them, and some sharks shuttle, very beautiful, but very dangerous. NOVELBJN.C Ohm. If you are a human being, it is very dangerous to collect corals. But for the masters of the magical mystery, there is nothing. Long Hao's hand points, a mana forced to open the sea, straight down, into a group of red coral reefs, looking for, suddenly up, a horn the big, blood coral, was fished up, and the whole body was flowing with the luster of bright red, and the essence of the air was conveyed, and it was full of abnormalities. This is the blood coral that has been heated for more than 500 years. If ordinary people wear it into jewelry, they can remove impurities from the body's blood, clear blood and poison, and prolong life. We alchemy, grind this blood coral into powder, use the real fire as pure and as an important medicinal material of Jing Yuandan. In fact, the 9 medicinal materials of refined Yuandan can be found in the ocean. Long Hao looked for a while, but could no longer find such a blood coral, and could not help but sigh. Here is the shallow sea, let's go to the deep sea. Let's go to the place this time. Fang Han did not kill the souls in the sea, because these creatures are too weak, even fierce sharks. If you kill 100, you can refine a sesame-sized blood Dan. To kill the powerful creatures and refine the good blood. To go to the virtual, at our speed, I am afraid I have to fly for 10 days and a half. But the more I go to the deep sea, the stronger the soul, and the more the elixir, the more I want to find the crystal blood snake's liner, to refine the soft water Dan, condense the infuriating. Long Hao nodded, the cold sword, flew out, changed into a strand of water, wrapped himself, flew deep into the sea. Fang Han greeted the witch and quickly kept up. After flying for more than an hour, the land of the mainland has completely disappeared. At first glance, there is water everywhere between heaven and earth. Endless water. The island can't see half. There is no sky, no land, no place to stay, no one can feel unsafe. At this moment, the weather gradually became gloomy, and a cloud of dark clouds shrouded. It seemed that there was a storm and rain at any time. The atmosphere at sea is also very dull. To come to the storm, let's go to rest and rest. Our power is not high, flying in the storm, but it is difficult, in case there is a thunder in the storm, killing us immediately, it will be injured immediately. Seeing this in the scene, Long Hao took a hand, and a splendid cloud glow flew out of his hand and fell to the surface of the water, forming a small painting of the building. Colorful, aroma. Fang Han saw the painting of this small building and couldn't help but think of the scenes of the blue houses on the river and the beauty of the clouds. This spring is the good time for Wang Sungongzi, a wealthy disciple, to take a beautiful boat on those cruise ships and drink and have fun. At that time, he also had a dream, and one day he would become these grandsons, but now he is far more than them. What are the opportunities for life? Falling on this, Kai Sha gas boat, it is stable and there is no difference between it and the real building. The clouds are condensed, hard as stone and light as wood. The Fang Han had to sigh with the heart of the indigo. This airship is a spirit, but it cannot be used against the enemy. It is specially used for rest and rest at sea. It is a magic weapon to enjoy life. Hey, just settled down, rested for a while. Fang Han worked hard too, Mu Huang Zhen Qi, and did not forget to practice for a moment, but when he cultivated, the sea really blew a strong wind, the ocean surged a few feet high, bumpy, but Kai Sha gas boat issued a burst of light, resisting the waves outside, bumping up and down, will not sink. Well, this wind has a strong sigh of anger. Good luck, we actually met the 1,000-year-old giant black water snake in the sea. Long Hao also cultivated, Wan Shui Shen, but she cultivated the water system wonderful, very sensitive, smelling the sea breeze conveyed in the air, stunned. Fang Han was awakened. The Millennium Giant, the Black King Snake, it turns into a beggar. The giant python in the sea, a kind of black water king snake, is a pre-existing ancient species. If there is great luck in life, what kind of medicinal herbs are eaten, the body will accumulate aura, and the blood will be changed, it will prolong Shoyuan, and after thousands of times of molting, will be turned into a beggar. Although it is not a dragon, it can have a supernatural power. Mang Mang Jiao Jiao Jiao, it is equal to the cultivation of people into supernatural powers. It is the most crucial step in stepping into the path of heaven and earth. It is also the key to becoming a demon. I built the magical animal, which is called a monster. In particular, the black water king snake python is huge in size. Once it has been degenerated, it has a magical power, and the mana is much larger than human beings. Fang Han cultivation has become a supernatural power, the power of the mana is only 100 Zan Huang Lima, and the embarrassment is different. It is likely to have 1,000 horses. Even the power of 2,000 horses. 10 times as many as people, 20 times. Because the body of the Black King Snake is much stronger than the human being. It is a magical power and a strong mana. After the general snakes are turned into cockroaches, the mana is far less than the shackles of the Blackwater King. However, it is too difficult for the King of the Black King to smash, and it has to be changed for more than 1,000 years. Because their wisdom is too low. The Blackwater King Snake for hundreds of years is the elixir of countless monks. Not yet phlegm, it was killed. Snakes, souls, millennium, and dragons. After the sputum, it is equivalent to the master of the magical powers, and after the dragon, it is equivalent to the master of the longevity secret. Dragon's dragon sword, the ice dragon, is not a dragon, but also a small dragonfly. However, the size of the skeleton is far less than that of the Black King Snake, so the mana is much weaker. Rao is like this, the sword is very powerful, it is a treasure. Go, the Millennium Giant Blackwater King Snakes. This is a rare adventure, if we kill it. The benefits are too much. Its inner tank can strengthen our mana. A big one, Black King Snake, it's much bigger than my chills. Long Hao flew up. Fang Han, according to the strong hurricane, looked at it and saw a sea tornado spinning in the sky. In the tornado, there was a giant snake of 200 or 300 people, violently long. The scales are wide open, endless water, forming a whirlpool, and the sound is sharp, and as the wind conveys, it is creepy. Fang Han immediately turned the Wood Emperor into a halo, and the rumbling turned into a blue light, flying toward the giant snake at the tornado. The Black King Snake is itself a huge sea snake, and the sharks and whales have to escape. What's more, the goods that have grown for thousands of years. After being turned into a Blackwater King, the fear of the general supernatural master is not its opponent but a strong monster. Fang Han read the worlds, and knows the use of the giant snake of the Black King Snake, especially the Blackwater King Snake after the scorpion, which is more useful. I can't think of the first sea, there is such an adventure. The Blackwater King Snake, the moment when the skin is smashed, is also a relatively weak time. If it can be weak, the mana is tyrannical, and if you drill into the deep sea, it is difficult to kill it even if it is a master of the 5-day world. A supernatural person, to make food for it. I actually encountered the Blackwater King Snake, and the luck is not too good. When the witch flew up, it was also very eye-catching. Just as Fang Hanfei rushed to the past, he suddenly said, the master of the mysterious secret, ambushing around the Black King Snake. It seems that it is waiting for it. Not only us. The voice of Yan just fell, and the sound of Long Yao also passed. I feel the water is fluctuating, it seems that there are others. Chapter 113, Helium. Chapter 113 Helium. Fang Han, this is the first time I saw a monster and turned into a demon. Moreover, it is a huge monster like the Black King Snake. The majestic demon, the sigh of breath conveyed, the storm on the sea was fierce, the whistling and whistling, the ghosts and gods crying, if there were sailing ships passing by, the people on board were afraid of being alive and scared. Before the creatures are made into magical powers, they can only be called strange. Like the crane fairy, you can use all kinds of spirits to create all kinds of illusions and confuse ordinary people. This is just called fine, which is what ordinary people say, fine. And if the crane fairy can cultivate to the magical mystery, spirit is transformed into mana. Then, become a demon. It's a real monster. Weird, monster. Two different levels, just like the flesh and the mystery. Although Hexianzi has eaten a lot of medicinal herbs with Fang Han, he has endless benefits and is indulged in indigo, but he has to become a monster to step into the mysterious secret. If there is no adventure, at least one more time. In the 60 years of this jade, it is necessary to take the spirits every day, so that the flesh and blood are pure and free of impurities. Therefore, this time Fang Han did not bring the crane fairy out. In the middle of the sea, the crane fairy did not help much, but became a drag. The black water king snake, at this time in the center of the storm water tornado, Fang Han used the infuriating air to fly close, and opened in dozens of miles. More and more real. Each of the scales of this giant python has a face size, and now all of them are up, and the scales are like a knife, and they are fierce. Especially the ***** mouth, even an elephant can swallow it at will. The true, snake swallow, is not a bit false. The fangs in the big mouth of the blood basin, and the ivory are long, sharp, and it is obvious that it is bitten to the end. Fang Han knows that the Blackwater King snake's fangs are 10 times better than the Shira spurs. If they are obtained by the masters of the heavenly world, they will enter all kinds of squads, use them to refine them, and even refine them into treasures. Level of flying sword. After such a huge Blackwater King snake becomes a shackle, what will the mana force be? Ruthless. Fang Han is only close to the Black King snake and feels that the opponent's mana is more than double. After contemplating the infuriating, there are already 600 horses, and this Black King snake has already been thousands. If this Blackwater King snake learned the magical power, after condensing the infuriating, and entering the second real thing like Fang Han, how strong will the mana force be? 3,000 horses. 5,000 horses. However, monsters such as the Blackwater King snake, even if they step into the mysterious mystery, have no chance to cultivate magical powers unless they are taken away by the 5 demon people. But before that, it will certainly be peeped by many monks. It is the most dangerous time to promote the mysterious secrets and achieve the monsters. Without the refuge of the sects, basically 7 or 8 of them were unpredictable. The movement is too big, too easy to peek into. At this time, the Black King snake in the middle of the storm also seemed to feel the danger. Looking to the approach of Fang Han and others, the voice became more and more fierce, and the spirit of A was conveyed, causing various kinds of the illusion seems to be to scare away the cold, the witch, the dragon, and the hidden peeper. However, this has no use, and the master of the magical mystery does not care about the illusion. NOVELBJN.C Ohm. And this time, this Black King snake is at the most critical time of metamorphosis, and cannot escape, but cannot be abandoned halfway, otherwise the spirit collapses and immediately becomes an idiot, plant snake. Let's wait for this Black King snake. I'll turn the spirit into mana, turn it into a beggar. Immediately. Do you intercept the secret characters, or are you coming? Long Hao suddenly separated the water curtain and moved closer to Fang Han. The witch played a hidden character, and the 3 disappeared into the water curtain storm, completely hiding the breath, sound and form. What do you think of Long Yao? Fang Han asked. This Black King snake is of great use to you, I don't need it. Moreover, I took a yin and yang shuden, increased the life expectancy of 600 years, and some time is slowly cultivated. You have only 10 years, no delay. I will help you to stop the secret characters. When you turn this Blackwater King snake into a dragon, you will suddenly shoot it. Kill it and collect it. Do you have the magic weapon to collect such a big king snake? The sound of Long Yin was conveyed to the ears of Fang Han, and it was the sound of mana. Okay, I am not welcome. Witch, you help the dragon, secretly guard, if I get the benefits, and ultimately your benefits. Fang Han heard that Long Hao is willing to give him the Blackwater King snake. You are welcome. Indeed, he now needs a lot of resources to enhance his strength. And Long Hao can slowly cultivate, and the days are still long. It can also be seen from this point that Long Hao is a clear person. Good, it's going to start to smash. A huge bang. Let Fang Han focus all of his attention on the Blackwater King snake. When the storm is more intense, the power of a strand of femoral scent from the Black King snake. On the head of this giant sea snake, 2 large meat bags were bulged, and then a series of hard shells rose up, and they grew out of 2 long, coral-like horns. At the same time, the Black King snake, the physical force suddenly dissipated, the tornado-like storm lost the support of mana, and suddenly disappeared. Hundreds of thousands of pounds of seawater fell from the sky to the ocean, and there was heavy downpour. It's this moment. Fang Han at this time, no hesitation. The hand was grabbed outwards, and the wooden emperor came out and turned into a cyan giant wood, which hit the Blackwater King snake after the pupation. To deal with this sea otter, the ordinary flying sword does not work at all, but Fang Han's Qingdi Muhuangong is turned into a giant wood, and one blow makes the other party faint, which is suitable for dealing with giants. The speed of the cyan giant wood is extremely fast, although there is no transcendence of the sound, but a few tens of miles away, the blink of an eye is coming. The sly squatting on the body of the Blackwater King snake, the sea otter screamed and fell to the surface. Shaking his head, it seems to be fainted. This is that it has just been degraded, and the mana is still not used. And the weakness is extremely extreme, otherwise with its generous mana, even if it is alone, Fang Han will not clean it up. Wu Wang was silk, Tian Luo net. Fang Han saw such a scene, the action is fast, he is now experienced in combat, know how to use the infuriating, the cyan giant wood, after the Blackwater King snake knocked over, suddenly turned into a big net, shrouded. Dare to pick cheap. At this moment, suddenly, not far from the sea, a black shadow violently stringed up. Fang Han only felt the airflow shocked, and the person who flew between them, surrounded by a circle of milky white airflow, is a sonic boom. This is the strange scene where the speed transcends the sound and pulls the sound behind. Chilling, Long Hao had long waited, and the cold sword flew away and hit the figure with the figure. Hey, I don't know how to live. The figure did not have any movements, and it was faintly about to grab a shot. The cold sword actually flew back. And this figure, like a shadow, as fast as a ghost of lightning, flickering in the air, close to the dragon and the witch, volley 2 palms. Hey, the speed is too fast. After the dragon and the witch had not reacted, they were hit by 2 palms and screamed and fell to the surface. And this figure suddenly turned a corner, and flew toward Fang Han. Fang Han only saw that the other party was still a few miles away, and between the flutter, the deep suffocation had enveloped his body. Not good. At least the master of the third-dimensional dilemma of Shintong has turned the infuriating into a suffocating. Chapter 114, Desperate Island Owner. Chapter 114 The Desperate Island Owner. I don't think I'll come out for the first time. I've encountered the good thing of the Blackwater King's snake, and I'm just getting a harvest. But I have encountered a powerful master robbery. This kind of luck, do not know whether it is good or bad, in the end is a fairy, or bad luck. However, Fang Han has no time to consider these. Because of the sudden attack, the speed is too fast and too fierce. The suffocating gas is much more powerful than the real gas, and the power is also several times different. It is impossible to resist when it is killed. Fang Han couldn't see the true face of the coming person. He only felt that the other side was shrouded in a milky white air stream. The black shadow swayed, and the sound of the film exploded. The shock was so frustrating that the body seemed to disintegrate. The power is great, it's so fierce. However, he is not a witch and a dragon. In the end, he is a person who has become an infuriating person. He is also a wooden emperor, and the ancient spirit is more spiritual, and the body is more cultivated, the golden body, and naturally it will not be vulnerable. Hey, poke, well, hey. When the other person's suffocation shrouded the whole body, Fang Han sent out a dragon's octave, mixed with the infuriating spit, and the word notes hit the other's suffocating air, and immediately blocked his own suffocation. Then the figure that was called was blocked, and it paused for a while. It seems that he did not expect Fang Han to be able to issue such a powerful, sound-killing technique. The power of the Tianlong octave is multiplied with the depth of the cultivation. Now Fang Han is condensed into the infuriating spirit of the wooden emperor. When it spits out, those syllables form notes, and then form 8 faintly green dragons, directly strangled, as much as any real gas spell attack. Pai Li Pa La, 8 notes, Qinglong, were repeatedly blown up on the body of the coming person, sizzling the other's suffocating sizzle, the steel sizzling, sparkling, but did not shake the other's suffocation. However, Fang Han did not stop, and the infuriating luck, a green stick appeared on the hand immediately, and it was smashed down and went straight to the other's head. At this point, the other party paused. Fang Han also saw the face of the other party slightly. It was a middle-aged man in black, with 3 long beards and purple skin on his face. It seems to be the sun for all the year round, or it is refined. A wonderful work. This middle-aged man in black, his face is gloomy, his eyes are vicious, his eyes are chilly, and his mouth hangs a little sneer. At first glance, he is used to killing people and goods, and after 100 battles, he must kill people and never fail. Hey, I can't think of the hardship of this Black King snake for a month. just waiting for it to be drilled out of the deep sea, and then take it away from the moment of phlegm, and actually came across you to it. It is damn. After the man paused, he did not stop, and a suffocating smother came out to resist the blue and white wooden stick of Fang Han. At the same time, he grabbed his hand and grabbed a milky white scorpion and flew away. A half-acre magic hand, and smashed toward the black king snake on the sea. Hey, thousands of pounds of seawater was blown up on the sea, and the big net of Fang Han was also smashed and lost control of the black king snake. The black king snake once again screamed with screams, and the body squirmed and flew with the water. It is a pity that this ancient alien species, if it is not a period of weakness, restores magical powers, and is not afraid of any monks at all. But now it can only be slaughtered. The man shot the black water king snake seriously, and the big hand squeezed the 7 inches of the giant python, and even the volley lifted it up. It seems that I want to take this giant. When you hurt someone, you want to go. N-O-V-E-L-B-J-N.C. Ohm. Fang Han saw that this person could actually use the force to volley to mention the giant python, without any effort, and the heart was shocked at the same time, but it would not let this person go so far. The dragon, the witch is still alive and dead, and this person suddenly sneaked. Fang Huxin's heart is angry. This giant python, say less than 1 or 2,000 pounds. A giant python, riding this man to the height of the black water king snake. Fang Han gathered his own 90% of the infuriating in his mind, suddenly turned into a sharp spiral, like the tree's annual ring, smashed out and went straight to the other's bodyguards. This is a means of using infuriating, and it is also a move in the Qingdi Muhuanggong. Using infuriating, high-speed spiral, suddenly drilling, you can break the protection, good at attacking. Although Fang Han does not say that the Wood Emperor is really angry, to play the magic, but it is purely incomparable. Feel free to manipulate, between thoughts. Little thief. This black-haired middle-aged man's face sneered again, killing the camera. Dare to show off your poor infuriating in front of my desperate island. I will let you know that the skill is killing people. Death hand. Between the words of his body, the body suffocation automatically formed, a milky white palm. This palm is very strange. There are only 3 fingers, like a bird's paw. 3 fingers, have a twisted rune, composed 3 words, absolute. Broken. Disabled. Boom. This suffocating claw, and Fang Han's, Wuwang infuriating, once again collided together. Fang Han's infuriating was crushed and crushed, but this black middle-aged man was also shaken back and forth in the sky, gliding. It took a few miles to stay. Oh, the scorpion black water king snake that was caught in the distance was also slightly scattered because of the suffocation of this Destiny Island Lord, and fell back into the ocean. What is this instinct? The quality is so high. The desperate island owner looks a glimpse. Although he has just mentioned the giant scorpion and spent some power, he is a bit higher than Fang Han. It is far from far away, and he is actually repelled by Fang Han's infuriating. The infuriating is a wonderful work. Just in the middle of a fight, he has already felt the power of Fang Hanzhong, long and tenacious. It's majestic and majestic, as if the spring is coming. It is full of glory. How can it not be scattered? What is the desperate island owner? I am a true disciple of Yuhuaman. You are a little distracted. The demon is outside. Actually dare to fight against my feathering door. Could it be that I want to die? Fang Han took out a fierce voice, but the infuriating air was once again condensed, flowing in his mind, preparing for the strongest blow. Yuhuaman disciple. The desperate island owner heard a surprise. His face was cloudy and uncertain, and it seemed to be taboo. Scattered martial art, no matter how hard it is cultivated, but there are so many scruples about the behemoths of the 10 Commandments, because killing one of them will surely be endlessly pursued. Just at the moment when the desperate island owner sighed and the balance was in the head, Fang Han started. Hey, hands on. Fang Han greeted the shackles in Huang Quan's picture and set the killer. When the blue light collapsed, it turned into a giant wood, and the smashing down the pressure, while the smashing shot was faster, a dragon scorpion, countless yellow spring holy water, forgetting the hydration into a water arrow water knife, covering the desperate island owner. That forgets the water, and when it comes to the suffocation of the desperate island owner, it is like acid, and it erodes the spirit of the other party. Let the desperate island owner scream. Chapter 115, Graft. Chapter 115, Transferring Flowers. Since waking up, Yan has become the master of the second true atmosphere of Shintong. After swallowing the Golden Light's fire mirror, the strength has increased. Although it has not reached the triple element, it has also cultivated Wangquan Junqi to the peak. The yellow spring holy river forgotten the water is displayed in a pure fire, and there is a layer of yin and toxic, specializing in corrosive spirit, restraining all magical mana. People will be seriously injured and memory damaged. Moreover, yan is hidden in the map of Wangquan. It is not prepared by the desperate island owner. Suddenly it is difficult to get rid of the essence of the yin. There is a peerless assassin. If you don't shoot, you will kill people. Hey, a little embarrassing situation, but also dare to be a fortune, actually claiming to be desperate. Today I will let you know, what is desperate. You are a suffocating one, you are given me. Bring it to alchemy, make it into a medicinal herb, and make up for it. It is no less effective than the Black King Snake. Under the slap of yan, forgetting the water invades the opponent's mana, screaming the desperate island owner, but does not stop. The infuriating respins, forgetting the water under his control, ever-changing, sometimes turned into a water knife, sometimes turned into a water sword, and turned into an arrow, a spear, a bow, a long gun, a big axe, a painting, a soft whip, a hammer, even for the rope, the face head. Without 3 breaths, the desperate islanders who killed the people and the goods were beaten and did not know what the north and the south were. The bodyguards were crumbling and seemed to be broken up. Once the bodyguards are broken up, it is a dead situation. No vel b in .c ohm. Because with the flesh, there is only one dead road in the sea. Not drowned, drowning was drowned. After the master of the magical power, after being deprived of mana, it is equal to losing the magical power. Then the tiger who went to the minions, there is no threat. Yan, in this shot, a series of means is amazing. On the use of infuriating means, skills, Fang Han shot horses are more than yan. Ah, what is this infuriating, how so poisonous? My brain, I don't care about the feathering door, killing and killing. The desperate island owner was attacked and immediately felt the memory in his mind was damaged. They are all blurred, and it seems that they are going to become idiots. The master of the mysterious secrets has a very accurate grasp of his own mind. When he is invaded by the strange kind of infuriating water, the desperate islander feels it. He slams his teeth and spurs the magic of his cultivation and stabilizes his injury, preventing the invasion of the water, and at the same time he screams. Suddenly the whole body suffocates, and between the earthquakes, he is separated from the encirclement, and he is smashing 2 suffocates in the direction of Fang Han and his own, and he is a fold. Fly to the distance. Boom, boom. Fang Hanyan started from the emperor's work, condensed the giant wood, smashed the suffocating gas, was about to catch up, but he stopped it. Pour in chasing, and this person is practicing a kind of magic with a small magic. The Scorpio is desperate. When you are in danger, you can kill yourself and burn jade. But he has forgotten the water, and sooner or later he will become an idiot, unless the longevity, or supernatural powers the 9 heavy master rescued him, and he was impossible to save himself. We waited for a while to let him attack and find his old nest, killing him, smashing the roots, and plundering his treasure. This must be an overseas practice, alone. When a person cultivates into a realm of suffocation, there must be an adventure baby, not taking it. Well, I am also doing this. Fang Han nodded. You went to collect the Black King Snake. I went to find the dragon and the witch. I don't know how they are. It should not die. What? Between the talks, the dragonfly has already flown out, and at the same time, the Wangquan map is driven, and the huge snake of the Blackwater King Snake on the sea surface is covered. This petrified snake is included in the map of Wangquan, back to the side. Inside the cold skin, it doesn't move. Fang Han used the infuriating spirit to fly toward the dragon, where the witch fell into the water. Hey, hee hee, a blisters came out from the sea, and finally a fountain of sea water was set up. The dragon clams the witch and stood on the fountain. When he saw Fang Hanfei coming over, his face showed a different look. I don't think it is the devil's peep. Black King Snake. Fang Han, you actually hit him. I showed the size of the feather door, and he did not prepare for it. The attack was successful. Fang Han looked at the dragon and the witch and could not help but ask, how are you? The injury is not serious. Fortunately, it was only because he shocked the mana and destroyed one of my ceremonial vestments. Long Hao shook his head, but it also lost my cultivation of the **** of water. It is like a fish in the sea. Otherwise, then I am going to suffer the catastrophe. I recovered my mana in the sea. I immediately came up and wanted to help you. I saw this desperate island owner fly away. No injury is good. Fang Han also knows that Long Yao and the witch have a magic weapon to protect themselves. They can't be killed by a single blow. They have just been shaken by mana and temporarily lost their power. Where is the Blackwater King Snake? When I saw the desperate island owner flying, I did not take the Blackwater King Snake. Long Hao asked. Fang Han's eyes flashed. I was put away. The original Fang Han has a treasure, a Taoist device. It is no wonder that there will be an ambition to challenge the Chinese brother. It is no wonder that he will defeat the desperate island owner. Long Yan heard the words. First the expression was shocked, then slowly subsided, but this is the secret of Fang Han, rest assured. Long Yao will never mention half a word, keep his mouth shut. If there is a little bit of wind, I will never hope for the longevity of the future. Being able to create space, loading a giant monster like the Black King Snake, silent, no treasure can be done, only the legendary Taoist device can do this. This knowledge, even the Hongyi County Lord knows, let alone the savvy and cannot be more savvy, see the knowledgeable dragon. There is nothing here, you don't have to make such a big oath. You and I are all disciples of Yuhuaman. I will give you yin and yang Wansho Dan, that is, believe in you. Let us travel and go to the dangerous land. It was originally to entrust each other to each other. Without a little trust, how did it happen? Fang Han waved his hand and opened the subject. Yes, you have a lot of knowledge. In the tone, I seem to be familiar with this desperate island owner. Do you know who he is? Long Yan's face was completely calmed down, not to mention the fact that Fang Han's body had a treasure. He seemed to have never seen it, and he did not know this thing. In this case, it was just right, both of them were smart. Cannot be handled in a savvy role, the relationship is naturally able to grasp the heat, overseas scattered, very many, hundreds of forces. But this desperate island owner, but some names, because of this it is one of the infamous overseas stalking 40 thieves. In the early years, he once worshipped a demon elder to be a teacher. Later, he was robbed because he killed the same door and snatched the magic weapon. The magic door, fleeing overseas, became a mess. His desperate island is very secretive, and no one knows where it is. 40 thieves, is it together? That is not, it is the name of some overseas scattered platoons. It lists the 40 evil and evil people in overseas scum, and adds together to make people a place. This desperate island owner is ranked 38. The witch listened to Fang Han and Long Hao one-on-one, and nodded. I have also heard of over 40 thieves overseas, but I have never seen anyone, but this desperate island owner is only ranked 3rd. What is the number 1 thief, how powerful? It turned out to be a demon apostle. Alone, Fang Handao. This time he was injured by me and fled. I was seriously injured. Let's leave here first, find a secluded place, cultivate it. I will make a Blackwater King Snake, you also restore the state to the best. Let's kill the desperate island owner, take him sick, ask for his life. Do you know where his desperate island is? Long Hao asked quickly. I am familiar with the sea, but I don't know where the island is. Of course I know that because he was injured, I was planted with some breath. Fang Han knows that there must be a tracking method. That's good, let's get out of here. Long Hao nodded. The Blackwater King Snake has just turned around, and the atmosphere is strong. I am afraid there will be some people who smell the breath. You must know that the supernatural person is from the heavens and the earth. Fluctuations, what can be felt thousands of miles away. Go. Fang Han naturally knew that it was so powerful. The 3 men once again concealed their stature and flew in another direction. They flew out for 2,000 or 3,000 miles before they stopped and found a deserted island. This small island, with a radius of dozens of miles, is not easy to be seen by anyone who practices it, just for the time being. After falling, Fang Han's magical force entered the Wangquan map, and he saw the Blackwater King Snake giant python floating on the Wangquan River. It was already a plant snake, but it is still dead, majestic mana. Still. Hey, how do you craft this guy? I have a way, I don't know if you are willing to take risks. I am Wangquan Mozong, there is a magic door that moves flowers and trees. You can graft mana, but you must have the right to forget the water, and the people who cultivated the Jinluo body, but also someone is assisted. Now both are available. What is the transfer of flowers? Fang Han heard a lot of confusion. That is to transfer the mana of this Black King Snake to your body. After the Black King snakes the dragon, the mana of the body has at least 1,500 horses. I let these mana, all passed on to you. But the success rate is not high, it is not good, the heterogeneous mana cannot be adjusted, the fire is enchanted, the mana is violent, the whole body explodes. It is fried into plasma. But your Jurassic body is very powerful, usually supernatural master you can't stand it, you can stand it, you can barely try it. And I have used the water to wash away all the memories, and it will not have a little resistance. I have not forgotten all the memories. Struggling a little, when you are grafting, you have to explode and die. Yan seriously the way. Dry, if you don't take risks, you can't be surprised. I can't beat Huashendu in 10 years. Now 10 years have passed and I am getting closer. What am I afraid of? Fang Han immediately made a decision. Transfer the mana, transfer flowers and wood. The mana of the Black King Snake is all passed on to Fang Han. The mana of Fang Han, now the strongest, is only equivalent to 600 horses and yellow horses. If the success is passed, it can be tripled. Close to 2000, I am afraid that the mana is strong. The true atmosphere, even the masters of the ambiguous situation are invincible. Chapter 116, 2000 Horses. Chapter 116 2000 Horses. Is there really such a wonderful work in the world? If this is the case, can I not kill every mana with a magical power, and pass it on to me? If I can in this way, I kill a few more masters, and continue to pass on, not invincible. After Fang Han promised, he hesitated a little. N-O-V-E in .c ohm. It's not that he regrets it, but the technique of shifting flowers and picking up wood is too outrageous. It's incredible, and it's beyond the common sense of cultivation. If you say that after killing the Black King Snake, you can refine the mana into a blue dragon and slowly strengthen its strength. But it is too impossible to pass on the mana. Mana is the same as physical strength. For example, killing a tiger, you eat tiger meat, drink tiger bone soup, add some nutrients, add some strength, this is normal. But to say, killing a tiger and transferring the strength of the tiger to your body is simply impossible. Mana is passed on, is the magic of Huang Quanmen. But it is not so easy. I will know when you pass it. I promise that you will not take your life to joke to test the second time. Or this time you will have different mana. Conflicts, explosions and deaths are not good. And cultivation is in the end. This transfer of mana is of no use. The magical mystery is 9, 10 masters, which one is not hundreds of thousands, the power of millions of horses. Master of longevity secrets is not limitless, moving mountains and reclamation are all leisure, killing a person, what is the use of mana to pass on the manpower? For a little profit, risking life. Enemies, on the back of the name of killing. And they have not forgotten water, and the higher the magical power, the deeper the mana brand, the harder it is to pass on. If this Black King Snake is cultivated in the true atmosphere, it will not be passed on. Otherwise, the inferiority is in conflict, you are 100% dead. Taoism, just used to lay the foundation, seek fast, take life to gamble on gadgets. The tone of the voice became very dignified. If you really decide, then dispel the distracting thoughts, listen to my instinct and run the mouth. If you make a mistake, you will be 100% dead. Also, this time you succeeded in the 5th 5 year I am watching you, not taking risks, there is no chance to defeat Huashendu. Also, it is very dangerous to go to the virtual, you do not improve your strength, I am afraid that you will die there. Fang Han heard this, the heart is naturally bright, cultivation is actually the same as doing business, the thicker the money, the more you earn. The capital of Huashendu is too thick, just practice it, refining a Dan, it is equivalent to me. After a few years of hard work and no risk, it is impossible to catch up with him. Don't you be so clear. Sometimes I am smarter than me, I won't say anything. Let's get started. I also appreciate Fang Han's decision. If you don't fight, you will die. If you fight, there is still a glimmer of hope. It is better to kill one. Subsequently, a lawful operation of the law passed to Fang Han's mind. When Fang Han listened, he split his spirits and pointed at the dragons next to him. The witch said, I am practicing a small path now. You can help protect the law so that outsiders cannot bother. This is no problem. Anyway, my mana has been restored. You are practicing. Long Hao changed the chilly sword in the palm of his hand and turned it into a water vapor, covering it up, and the witch was not embarrassed. According to Fang Han's instructions, she is now subject to Fang Han, has to obey, and Long Hao is also watching her. Yeah, Fang Han saw the dragon's magical powers, secretly nodded, is a kind of water wave hidden technique. This hidden technique is easy to be found on the land, but not too convenient on the ocean, and around the environment is perfectly integrated. I am now practicing. I can't be disturbed. After Fang Han said a word, he closed his eyes and his body mana suddenly rushed. Then he all took his mind and his face showed a painful look. It seems that he has entered a state of cultivation. What are you doing this? Do not start practicing. When I noticed the state of Fang Han, I couldn't help but ask strangely. Hey, the heart of peace of mind is indispensable. Long Yao knows that there is a device on my body. Such a big temptation is also difficult to protect people from evil thoughts. Although they are all feathered disciples, they cannot kill each other, but there is no one here. On the desert island, once I killed me, swallowed the device, and said that I died in the vein, no one knows. I am pretentious to practice, enter the state, is to take a look, how this dragon's on. Losing you is still the dragon of Wangquan River, and you don't know that people are blackmailed. Fang cold and cold. This time if Long Hao got my trust, I was relieved to be bold with her. If she had any changes this time, I would have more to keep an eye on. Fang Han, you are really a character. At this time, you have to admire Fang Han's thoughtful thoughts, even the stone can squeeze out the oil, this time must guard against the same door. Next, Fang Han pretended to run mana, sweating all over the body, and at first glance it was in a state of intense tension. In fact, they all pretend that after a long period of time, the dragons are not moving, they are alert, and there is no movement. Fang Han gradually puts down his mind and begins to cooperate with the Yan, to display the technique of transplanting flowers and wood. For the dragon, he is somewhat reassured. After all, he is a disciple of Yuhuaman, and he is a true disciple. They are killing each other, and they are going to be sentenced to death. Moreover, they are not unprepared. The witch and the dragon are also mutually restrained. However, the human heart is separated from the belly, and now it is time to decorate and refine it. You can even try it out. If you have a long-term look at the dragon, will you suddenly start, for the temptation of the Tao? A Taoist device is simply a legendary baby. Even the Japanese month 5-star bracelet is not a Taoist. The 5 true disciples, except Huatian, the other 4, I am afraid that there are few devices. In the worlds, it is recorded that a Taoist device will be born, and it will cause hurricanes and ****** rains, and even masters of longevity and secrets will compete. The general treasure, longevity secret masters will not compete, so as not to lose their identity, but the Tao is different. It seems that this dragon has no evil thoughts. After all, unless it is extremely wicked, the nature is cold, the humanity is extinct, and you have received your great grace. It is also a true disciple of the same door. It is not ungrateful. Nodded, it's time to start. Move the flowers to the wood, move the stars to the stars, and transform the power. Turn. Suddenly, the infuriating temper rushed into the body of Fang Han, and the other half of the infuriating rushed into the Blackwater King Snake, that became an idiot. He seems to be an axle that connects the 2 wheels of Fang Han and the Black King Snake. Rumble. After Fang Han communicated with him and the Blackwater King Snake, there was a sudden shock in his mind. The mana of the Blackwater King Snake was constantly conveyed, and the different mana came into contact with his infuriating power. It suddenly seemed that the gunpowder had encountered a fire and suddenly exploded. He never expected that the technique of transplanting flowers and woods would be so dangerous. Puff. His 7 scorpions, all bleeding, the body seems to be exploded into a mass of bolognese. The head has a taste that immediately blasts. The explosion, not only a little, but also continues to play a chain reaction. Fang Han knows that this is the most crucial time. If the heterogeneous mana reacts with his own instinct, it would be equivalent to a fire that burned the forest and could not stop. Mana grafting, 49 turns, Big Yan Heaven, 1 Yuan magical use, the King of the King, the Unbearable, the Secret of the Secret, the Door of the Gods open, the Sea of the River, the capacity is big. At this moment, Fang Han forgets all the pain in the body, and all the spiritual thoughts are turned into an idea, that is, the sea is full of rivers and rivers. In accordance with the infuriating method of moving flowers and trees, a portal has been formed, which constantly accommodates mana, forcibly suppresses the chain explosion reaction and engulfs different kinds of mana. The mana of a stock has actually been accommodated in his infuriating spirit, being broken up, melting, and there is no conflict. Become your own mana. The magical power of the flowers and trees is really extraordinary and has a unique magical effect. At this point, Fang Han's body was completely filled with gas, as if the ball was generally bulging, and the volley floated. Also discovered by the dragon and the witch. Both Long Yin and the witch have widened their eyes. I don't know what Fang Han is doing. How can this change happen? Is this supernatural power to cultivate? I have seen a lot of knowledge, but I never know this phenomenon. What kind of supernatural power is cultivated? If something goes wrong, it will be blasted and died. The sects will be traced, I can't escape. Dragon's heart is also very nervous. Fang Han has a problem, she really wants to be investigated, it is difficult to get rid of the system. And the public opinion is unbearable. She received the great grace of Fang Han, and if Fang Han in her adventure, she suddenly died. Even if there is a little bit of rumors, it is not a taste. Similarly, she died, and the feather gate has to be traced to Fang Han. True disciple is no more than an inner disciple and a foreign disciple. If the disciples are dead, there is nothing left. They can cover up. The disciples in the inner court will check them in detail. The true disciples are dead. All the elders will be furious and the teachers will vibrate. After all, there are only 100 true rumors in the martial art, one less and one dead. Hey! At this moment, a series of explosions resounded, which was conveyed by Fang Han. Every explosion, a blood arrow is sprayed in Fang Hengko, it seems that the veins are broken. Not good. Long Hao was shocked. However, with the ensuing, Fang Han suddenly opened his eyes and rose like a ball-like body, completely dissipated, his eyes sparkling like never before, his mouth vomiting, the air flowing, like a hurricane, on this desert island. The big stones blew and flew up into the sky. Good and powerful atmosphere, he has at least 2,000 black and yellow horses. Long Hao shocked, the witch is even more shocked. Impossible, impossible, how can suddenly increase so many mana? Fang Han finally moved to success. Chapter 117, to one disciple. Chapter 117 to a disciple. How, Fang Han, do you want to try the second time? How to resolve the taste of different kinds of mana? This is the reason why the Blackwater King Snake has just turned away, creating new mana, and the brand is not deep. I asked with a smile. Is it finally successful? I thought that I had just exploded, and I had already blown up my bones. Fang Hanqing woke up and felt that his mana was so strong and powerful, and slightly fluctuating, he issued a steel shock, and he knew I really grafted it successfully and got all the power of the Black King Snake. Just now, at the last moment, he had completely forgotten his spirit. The only feeling was that his mind exploded. All the consciousness was blown up into pieces, thinking that he was finished, but he did not expect success. This is half luck. At this point, he felt the danger of transplanting flowers, and he didn't want to try it for a second time. Because you can't guarantee your second good luck, you can only take one risk and make a second time. It must be a problem, and you will die. Heterogeneous mana conflicts are too dangerous. Once they explode, they will not only become a powder, but even the consciousness will be broken into pieces. It can be said that it will never be overwhelmed. With my current mana, I can also fight with the desperate island master. What's more, he is still seriously injured. This time I have to copy the house and destroy the door. He is one of the 40 thieves who have been overseas. It must have killed a lot of goods. Something, or you won't get this name. This is not going to be a windfall, but when is it? Hey, you should feel the nest of this guy. Of course I get it. One person glimpses the mutual exchange of spirit. The Black King Snake now has a body, but the blood is still unusually thick. Its skin, teeth and horns are all made of good spirits and even treasures. Its blood can be refined at least 300 of small blood Dan, and its quality is far above the ****** Dan of the white hair flying. After all, this Black King Snake is a wild species, and it turns into a cockroach. The quality of blood is not too good. 10 ordinary blood Dan. So, those Shira have enough food to fight for me. Fang Han once again turned the whole body into the whole body, dredging the bones and muscles, conditioning the internal organs, and the volley floated up and made a laugh. Although the desperate island owner is one level higher than him, he may still have the upper hand now. I am absolutely not afraid of this person. When I think of the other person as one of the 40 thieves, the old nest is definitely rich in material and seriously injured. Fang Hanqing can't help but feel fever. Go. Fang Han first flew up. Where to go? Long Hao saw that there was nothing in Fang Han, and the dragon was fierce, but he was relieved. How do you mana soar? I have just cultivated a supernatural power. Let's copy the home of the island owner. Well, as long as you can find the desperate island, this person can't kill. You must know that Wangguixian Island has also rewarded and captured 40 thieves. Long Hao also flew up and immediately responded, let's kill this. It's not a bad idea to go to the island of Wangguixian. Wangguixian Island is also one of the 10 gates of Shandao. It has a huge force and is the hegemon of the ocean. However, for thousands of scattered repairs, the ocean area within hundreds of millions of dollars cannot be managed, and it is impossible to unify the ocean. Even if it is a giant in the fairy tales, the supergiant is too much, and it is impossible to supervise the scattered repairs in the ocean. You know, there are some Jedi in the ocean, hiding very powerful people. Especially in the depths of the virtual, communication infinite space, many worlds, and even the demon in the demon appeared. Because of this, the mixed fish, the emergence of the desperate island owner, 40 thieves such a monk. Of course, many monks on the ocean are still very kind and clear-minded. The strangeness in the ocean, Fang Han encountered the Blackwater King snake smashing, the sneak attack of the islander, this is a negligible corner. Such things can be played in every corner of the ocean, all the time. Fang Han, Long Yao, the 3 witches, flew up. Now Fang Han's mana is so powerful that it is equivalent to the masters of the 4 realities. In order not to delay the time, he waved his hand and suddenly wrapped up the 2 wood emperors to spur the other side, stimulating the gas injection. Advancing. However, when flying forward, Fang Han also played a few hidden characters, hiding the sound, airflow, and form. The hidden character is a musical instrument, which can be invisible. As long as it is a master of magical powers, it can be refining, but it requires a lot of materials, such as an ore, a stigmatism stone, on the ground. Fang Han does not have so much time to search for materials, but Long Yu there are a lot of people on the body. Some of the feather door outside the door, the inner disciple go to the bottom, collect these ores, contribute to the sect, you can get the reward of the medicinal herbs. Thousands of disciples of the feather door are collected, and the inventory is still very rich. Although the speed of Fang Han's flight is fast, it always surpasses the sound, which is why it is not smelt. But now he has a lot of mana, and the time for the road has increased greatly. You don't have to fly thousands of miles to rest. You can fly thousands of miles in one go, and the mana will not be exhausted. There is still fighting power. This side, turned west, to the south, to the north. Yan de ji fang 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 old nest. No Velp in .c ohm. After flying for thousands of miles, the east turned west, about 2 hours passed, the sky gradually darkened, the stars rose, the stars and tides, a splendid and quiet. It is true that at this time, boating on the sea, drinking, and playing the stars in the sky should be a wonderful thing, but at this time we are going to kill people and goods, a little bit of burning the crane and the scenery. Long Hao is a little lamentable. It's good to kill people in the dark, and the wind is high and set fire. It's certainly not suitable for killing people in such a starry night. But that's what the thieves do. We are demon slayers. Fang Han snoring. The front is. The cold thoughts came from cold. Fang Han immediately condensed the infuriating eyes on his eyes and widened it. The scenery in the distance was vividly in sight. I saw the sea, a long canyon, filled with black air, I don't know how long, how tortuous, around the canyon, reef shovel, dense beach. It seems to be a natural puzzle, and I don't know how big at first glance. This canyon is dangerous. Long Hao also saw this canyon, murderous, and could not help but take a cold breath. The desperate island owner is hidden in this gorge. We must be careful when we go in, so as not to lie in the enemy's ambush. Fang Han did not hesitate, and the witch, the dragonfly flew into the canyon. Flying into the canyon for a while, all of a sudden, there were 7 or 8 male and female monks wearing gossip purple robe in the sky. These men and women monks, each with a magic weapon, did not fly by their own mana, because they did not practice mana. That is to say, it has not entered the magical mystery. If Long Yao is here, I will definitely recognize it. The gossip Zijin robe, this sign, only the first sect of Shandao, the disciple of Taiyaman will wear it. Zhang Shishang, here is the evil ghost gorge. The desperate island owner, the 49th thief in the 48th thief is hidden in it. Then we can demon slayer. How big is this merit on the merits of the martial art? If you add a large sum, you can exchange for how many medicinal herbs, magic weapons. A disciple asked a brother who was headed. Chapter 118, Several Forces. Chapter 118, Several Forces. Yes, killing this desperate island owner, getting his body back to the sect, you can get great merit. With this merit, I can be promoted to a true disciple. The headed, Zhang Shishang, smiled coldly and exudes a hint of mana from the body. He is actually a master of magical powers. Among the 8 Tai disciples, Master Zhang is the only disciple of the mysterious secrets. However, he did not use his mana to fly. He still relied on magic weapons. Obviously, the mana cultivation was not so profound, and he did not practice it. However, it has become a mythical disciple who has become a supernatural master. It is so hard to be a true disciple of Taiyuman. How strong is the strength of Tai? The rumor that the desperate island master, cultivated to the magical three-way squatting atmosphere, flying speed, practicing a Scorpio, a killing man. We have all the squad, but I am afraid that he will not kill, he is against kill. A disciple worried. You can rest assured that naturally we are not in the lead. Wangguixian Island launched the most severe killing order in history for the 40 thieves. The teachings of Wangguixian Island have already issued a symbol, ordering all the oceans scattered, launched a siege on the 40 thieves. Zhang Shishang smiled. The 40th, 39 thieves, have been killed recently. Now aim at this desperate island owner. Just the average person cannot find its only to the location of the island, but I know that in this evil spirit's gorge, I secretly informed you a little, not the Night Island, the Floating Island, the Carp Island, the Lingju Island, the Yuha Island. 5 islands. When they receive the news, they will definitely come to kill. I think it will be half an hour later. It should be 5 islands alliance, a small circle of dispersal. Can it have any big effect? Just the Night Island owner, there is a little magical power. A disciple snorted. These scattered training is to get the adventure. Step into the mysterious secrets, but they will never have the opportunity to cultivate infuriating because there is no law of infuriating. The average master, if you get the enchantment of fairy tales, hard work for decades, you can step into the mysterious secret. But there is no magical way of cultivation, and it is never possible to turn the mana into infuriating. It can only be turned around in the first place. The practice method of the magical mystery is basically only a few major sects, or the ancient records. The desperate island owner, who was originally trained in the magical day, was able to practice his anger. Don't sleep in the island, it has been mixed up recently. This time I also invited the disciple of Yuhuaman. And he also pulled the relationship and sent his son to the door of Yuha, becoming a disciple of the inner door. Overseas scattered, he did not dare to offend him. Master Zhang licked his lips. I have learned that some of the disciples of Yuhuaman have been guests in the island. I heard the desperate island owner in the evil spirit's gorge. I will definitely come. Let them take the lead and fight with the desperate island to fight for you. We are killing us. Not bad. Mr. Zhang said that it is. We can also pay attention to the disciples of Yuhuaman. What kind of situation is it? The emergence of talented people in Yuhuaman has gradually threatened me to be too one. This way, I am to the door to establish the great cause of the fairy tales. The plan to use the merits of the world to make the fairy tales is greatly unfavorable. This time we came out to travel, the master did not specifically confess that we should pay close attention to the feathers of the door. A disciple calmly said. To be the best in the world, this is the great work of the supreme and many fairy deities. Now the people who practice in the world are mixed, and the power is on the top of everything, thus causing many arrogance. Must give to the world practitioners. A rule frame, the law to bind them, once the law is violated, immediately drop the robbery. This is for the heavens. Another disciple, vowed, to make this fairy tales that never exist. I am too real in charge of the immortal, leading the group of immortals, that is, Tiangong Tianting. This is the common goal of our own disciple, the younger brother, let me know. Zhang Shishang looks dignified. We will not enter the evil spirit's gorge, wait for the 5 islands alliance, and the disciples of Yuhuaman come. Let's go, hide, I have a treasure in the sky. It is a treasure, a teacher. I will give it to me before I leave. As long as the sacrifice is made, it is impossible for us to discover the traces of our traces. Between the talks, this Zhang brother, from the arms, solemnly took out a jade symbol, which is inlaid with gold, purple gold, green gold, platinum, wujin, 5 colors of gold. Casting into a single record, pattern, powerful mana from which it came out, between a touch, 8 Tai children have disappeared. The power of this charm is indeed the best in the treasure. A few people have hidden their bodies. After about 2 or 3 pillars of incense time, the sky has faintly conveyed the whistling, the figures are heavy, and the law is roaring. It is actually a large group of people flying together. The most striking thing is Dao Jinhong. Splendid through the sky, between the whistling, flying at low altitude, the gust of wind caused the sea water on the sea to plow a deep gully. This kind of power, at least hundreds of horses of the power of the rush. This golden rainbow is actually a wishful gold smoke, a treasure that was smelted by Panwu. This ghost gulch is really too long, and it's like a labyrinth. At this time, Fang Han and Long Yao which have entered the ghost, this ghost, is very deep. As soon as it flies in, the black fog is filled, surrounded by high reefs, canyons, roaring waves. Oh, let this desperate islander be like a ghost, it is difficult to escape my tracking. He used the magic of the magic, set a magical scene everywhere, and integrated with the surrounding landscape reef, and covered with many magic weapons, you can hide the sky. The master below the human border, but how can you hide me? Yan and Fang Han's spirit exchange. N-O-V-E in .c ohm. They then flew over a secluded reef seawater vortex. This place, about 2,000 or 3,000 acres, is like a small lake, the middle of the rapids, standing on several reefs like iron, the black mist is filled, the water is boiling, the sea is angry, thrilling. It is here, you are banging with infuriating. It is good. Fang Hanyan was full of infuriating, and the palm of his hand was launched. The cyan giant wood descended in the air, and the sly slammed into the whirlpool of this seawater reef. Hey, this time, but did not hit the sea, but was blocked by an invisible force, and then a circle of black fog was broken, the seawater vortex, all disappeared, actually a small island, there is a palace above the island. A jeweled palace. It says, Desperate Island. Desperate God Palace. Chapter 119, 5 Prisons. Chapter 119 5 Prisons. If this desperate shrine is placed in the secular, it is equivalent to the residence of a governor, which is magnificent and magnificent. However, in the Shandao sect, the palace was a little smaller, and there was no fairy weather. But this is in line with the identity of the desperate island master. A piece of scattered repair, where is the time and energy to build a palace with a few hundred miles and thousands of miles? The scattered residences are a bit of a small family. Cannot be compared with Yuhuaman, the fairy tales. Outside the palace, there is no big battle, no law. Because of the large array of arrangements, you need to be a master of the 5 heavens. Only when the heavens and the humanity can communicate with the heavenly people, and realize the realm of the sun, the moon, the stars, the grass and the feng shui, the tides and the rise and fall, can we combine all kinds of mana together, and circulate each other, and increase the power thousands of times. The desperate island owner never reached this realm, otherwise Fang Han had already been killed by him. It is precisely because of this that the island owner seems to be hiding deep, but it was bombarded by Fang Han with a Wood Emperor. If there is a large array of protection around, Fang Han cannot break. Rumble, rumble, when I blasted the prototype, Fang Han saw the depth of this, destination of the shrine, and faintly conveyed the breath of mana, so I smiled coldly, and with one hand, suddenly, 5 shares of Qingqi shot from the fingertips. The air once again turned into 5 giant trees, descending from the sky, sniping and killing, and then collapsed a few houses. Although these houses were built with jewels, they were all made of ordinary gold and silver and pearls. The value is in the city, but it has no effect on the people who cultivated the Tao. Fang Han did not feel that it was a pity that the pearls on these houses were broken by gold and silver. The gold and silver in the secular, the people who cultivate the immortals are generally useless. If you can't buy the medicine, you can't buy the implements and the spirits. Gold and silver can only be used in occasional alchemy. The world's first power, the Taizan's Dakshuan Empire, is not a gold or silver, but a kind of Zan Huang Qian, which is the currency circulating among the monks. However, more than half of the monks traded as barter. Ah, your sorrow is not counted, actually found this desperate island. Fang Han suddenly collapsed many palaces, and the desperate island owner finally couldn't sit still. He suddenly flew out of his most hidden Danfang, and flew with him, and there was a tripod-shaped house. Take a closer look, this tripod house is actually a Dan furnace. Yes, a house-sized Dan Ding Ding. Although this giant Dan furnace is not as big as the indigo of the Dan furnace, it is not small, powerful and invincible, surrounded by suffocating air, vortex, bringing a fierce wind. It seems that Baoguang is faint, nor knowing what metal is cast, powerful medicine, mana fluctuations are conveyed from the Dan furnace. It seems that thousands of horses are trampling and shaking. At first glance, this Dan furnace is a treasure furnace. The treasure level of the Dan furnace. God, no wonder this desperate island owner, a rehearsal, can actually cultivate to the magical 3-dimensional dilemma, refining the suffocating. Originally there is such a treasure level of the Dan furnace. The same as the treasure, Dan furnace is the most rare. A treasure level of the Dan furnace, replaced with 100 treasures of flying swords, vestments, more than enough. The dragon screamed and squeaked in the depths of his throat. It seemed to be slammed by the saliva, shocked. What is the most important thing for a monk? Not a flying sword, not a vestment, not a variety of treasures. But Dan furnace. The monk is born to take the medicinal herbs. The powerful strength, physical strength, and the consumption of pure medicinal herbs can supplement such enormous energy and nutrition. The medicinal herb is the grain, and the eater is not old. Because of this, Dan furnace is the most important for practitioners. Dan furnace is like the land of ordinary people. Ordinary people have land, they can grow food, mulberry sericulture and silk weaving, eating and dressing is not a problem. And the monk has a Dan furnace, you can produce medicinal herbs, refining endless flying swords, and even quench your own body of mana. There are a lot of tactics that need to be cultivated in the Dan furnace. For example, Fang Han's, Jin Luo Jin Shen, also needs to cook in the Dan furnace. With a baby Dan furnace, the monk can be said to have protection. No vel bjn.c ohm. The dragon furnace of Long Yao is also a kind of spirit, and it is already very bad. The Fang Han's Dan furnace is even worse, and it is still a piece of implement. Fortunately, he has a picture of Huang Quan, forgetting the water, and marrying this master of alchemy. There is no shortage of immortality. In fact, most of the true disciples of the Feather Gate, Dan furnace is a spirit. There are no more than 10 treasures in the class of the treasures. Only the Eastern Lingling, the West Blue, the South Wanluo, the North Yaoguang, etc. talk about a few high-end true biography. It is also because they have occasional adventures, and they have got the treasure level of the Dan furnace, and they have to make rapid progress. The Dan furnace of Huishandu is the instrument used by Panwu Shanzun. So his mana is so high. Among the various magic weapons, Dan furnace is the most difficult to refine. It requires a lot of arrays of methods, a large array of filters, a large array of real fires, and a collection of fires, and fires. Waiting for a large array of flames, as well as a large array of divided herbs, as well as a large array of airflow adjustments, as well as a large array of conditioning chemicals, as well as a variety of music arrays, because the medicine is spiritual, in the alchemy, use a beautiful music can enhance its effectiveness. There is also a large array of exorcism, because the medicinal herbs are trained, there will be invisible demon to destroy. All kinds of big arrays, rich and incomparable. If it is a Dan class furnace, you can even control the change of time in the Dan furnace, the change of space. An ordinary Dan furnace contains a large array of dozens, and hundreds of thousands. And Phagian, the vestment is a big deal. For example, the best spirit, sound kill magic knife, above a large array of, sound killing, urging the speed of the blade speed. If it is also a spirit and a treasure, 100 flying swords and 100 vestments are not comparable to a Dan furnace of the same class. The Dan furnace is the king of the magic weapon. How is the value of a monk? Mainly depends on his Dan furnace. The Dan furnace is good, and the repair is definitely high, which is evidence of 100 trials. Many magic weapons are made in the Dan furnace. Now that the desperate island owner has flew out, there is a treasure-level Dan furnace with him. You can see why his cultivation can be cultivated into a suffocating air. The Dan furnace is good, the quality of the refined medicine is high, and the repair is also high. A good treasure Dan furnace. Great. Wangquan map is only suitable for water method alchemy, many of my skills cannot be displayed. With this treasure Dan furnace, I can use the fire method to alchemy, even, you can throw 10 Shira into the Dan furnace to practice, and let them be completely integrated with Phagian. The power is even greater. Your Jurassic gold body can also go further. At this time, I was excited and screamed. Kill, kill, don't, this is the treasure of the island's owner, you must get your hand. The benefits are too great. Good. Mu Huang is really a sword. Fang Han did not hesitate, and sent the infuriating gas into a million-year-old sword of the Qingmu, and shot it out, killing the desperate island owner who flew up. Kill. At this time, the desperate island owner also knew that it was very dangerous. The smoldering air on his body turned into a sinister hand, and the sky was bursting into the shadow of the sky. Gas sword. When dang dang. Infuriating and suffocating, exploding in the air at the same time, it seems that there are thousands of fireworks. The gorgeous and desperate shrine below is shattered, and the debris of gold and silver jewelry flies around. Fang Han snorted, gliding more than 10 feet in the air, stabilized, and the desperate island owner even glided back more than 30 feet, hit his own treasure Dan furnace, this stayed. The two sides struggled hard, and Fang Han actually took the upper hand. Fang Hanyi shot, now is the power of 2,000 fierce horses, powerless. All the magical powers of the Black King Snake plus his own mana can overwhelm the masters of the Scorpion. And his Wood Emperor is infuriating, high quality is surprising, and it is cheap. How has your mana increased so much? The desperate island owner was amazed. The enchanting death. The answer is his dragon sword. The coldness was deep, and a lot of seawater was frozen into ice, and the island of the desperate island was frozen in the thick ice wall, and the action was blocked. Ice Po Xian Lei. Long Hao is now a supernatural power, it is much more powerful than when it was compared with Fang Han. The chilling sword is displayed in a magical way, and it can exert its maximum power. The dragon, Zhang mouth vomited, a series of white singers hail ****** thunder spit out. Between the explosions, the islander's suffocation almost suffocated. In the fight for the Blackwater King Snake, she was the island leader's sneak attack, almost injured, now to revenge, how to be willing to stay. 5 Prison King Ding Da Dan Furnace. Seeing the situation is not good, the desperate island owner screamed. The size of the house behind, the shape of the Dan Furnace, suddenly rotated, shot 5 flames on the top, once exposed to the ice, immediately exploded. A bolt from the blue. Move the mountain to shake. Avalanche. All the ice layers are blown up and crushed. The chilling sword was screamed again and again, and flew back to the hands of Long Yao. Long Hao was slightly sullen, and a few flashed to the back of Fang Han. This time she was prepared and not injured. Ha 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 ha, I am in prison with 5 prisoners. Can you get me? People enter the dingzong. The evil spirits do not invade. The desperate island owner ha ha screamed, and when the body moved, he would enter dingzong. It turns out that this Ding Furnace is called the 5 prisons. Thinking wonderful, Fang Han's body moved, it was really boiling, the overwhelming instinct, re-agglomerated, actually turned into a very small needle, clear light flashing, cannot be overlooked. Tianmu-God needle. Oh, this little Tianmu-God, between the flashes, went to the desperate island owner. Piercing the suffocation of the desperate island owner, the hole penetrated into his body. Fang Han is cultivated into a wooden emperor with the help of Tianmu Shenzhen. All the Tianmu gas on Tianmu's needle is absorbed by him, but he can also condense the infuriating and re-simulate at any time. Now, he re-agglomerates the emperor's infuriating spirit, and once again condenses into the Tianmu god's needle, spurting out, concentrating the power to the extreme, blasting the ice layer by the desperate island owner. The moment when the power is unable to meet, the blow will kill. The opportunity is just right. What? The desperate islander screamed and watched as Tianmu's needle pierced his body, trying to wrap it with hernia and force it out. But suddenly Tianmu's needle swelled and turned into a giant wood, and his body was stretched out, and it was torn apart. The blood is raining all over the sky, and the limbs are flying. The body of the desperate islander has been fried into a powder. In the body, the huge hernia lost control, suddenly violently, like a volcanic eruption, rushed to the sky. Then burst open. The master of the magical mystery is dead, the mana will rush to the sky, the explosion will dissipate, and it will be scattered between heaven and earth. Fang Han does not care about the flesh and blood of the islander, not much energy, not much stronger than Shira. The master of the mysterious secrets, unless cultivated to the point of heaven and earth, or the body is not much stronger, but do not learn the kind of wild species of the Blackwater King Snake. The opponent's mana, though useful, is not simmered, then slowly refining. Although Fang Han has the ability to kill the desperate island owner, he has no ability to refine the other side. Even Huatian Tiandu cannot refine the great whitey devil, let the other side cast the demon disintegration self-destruction. It can be oysters, how difficult it is to refine a master, refining the Blackwater King Snake, that is the timing of choosing, taking up the big bargain, that kind of opportunity, it is difficult to meet. Head. In the ***** grain, Long Yu saw the head of the desperate island lord because of the suffocation and protection. He quickly waved his hand and flew out of the cold, freezing the head in the ice. The owner of the island is dead, but the head is very important, because he can take him to receive the reward. And Fang Han took this opportunity. The Wood Emperor was infuriating, and grabbed the 5 prisoners' Ding Da Dan Furnace. This Dan Furnace, as big as a house, lost its control and flew out when the islander died. It is not easy to catch. At this moment, suddenly in the distant canyon, a lot of people came flying. I can't think of it, someone will be the first to leave. Leave the Dan Furnace. Many flying swords and magic weapons are coming from Fang Han. At the same time, there are many mana, turned into a big hand, rope, rolled up on the 5 prisons Ding Da Dan Furnace. How come so many monks, come to pick cheap, play the autumn wind, according to the truth. This desperate island is very hidden. I am the first time to Demon Slayer, you have to get the treasure furnace, is it so handy? Who is man, how is it so much? Fang Han saw that he was so lucky that he killed the desperate island owner and got the treasure left by the other party. I didn't think of it, suddenly I found so many monks. I don't know which one to drill from. Fang Han almost wants to swear. But this time, it is not a time to swear, because many magic weapons have already stifled on themselves. Among them, a few powerful swords. Flying swords are not as good as the killing magic knife. The most powerful one is a golden rainbow. The power is infinite, it is equivalent to 300 or 400 horses rushing together to trample, and then rolled on the top of the 5 prisons, and almost took away this furnace. Long Yao, the witch, saw the situation as not good, each issued a magical power, resisted in front of Fang Han, blocked a few mouthfuls of flying swords. Fang Han himself, but at the juncture of this crisis, once again demonstrated the power of God. The wooden emperor spread out, full of more than 10 acres, microwave, like a big swamp, then put those attacks into it. Later, he turned the other half of the wood emperor into a big hand, and grabbed the 5 prison king Ding Da Dan furnace, and immediately grabbed the golden long rainbow. His general wood emperor is infuriating, with 1,000 horsepower, and the golden rainbow is cut off instantly. The 5 prisoners Wang Ding was also caught by him and flew to his side. This golden rainbow, great strength, good tough. If I did not pass on all the powers of the Blackwater King Snake, now I have to fight for my life, it is impossible to break. Fang Han was busy, saw the owner of Jin Hong far away. I saw a girl, holding a gourd, actually Fang Qingwei. Chapter 120, Reverse the Right and Wrong. Chapter 120 is upside down. Fang Qingwei actually appeared at sea. This is unexpected for Fang Han. According to the truth, Fang Qingwei, this small fish, could not turn up any big waves, and he never looked at it. But now, he seems to have guessed wrong. Fang Qingwei is now being promoted as a great advance. Although he has not stepped into the mysterious myth, the power has already been equivalent to being a self-cultivation of the Jinluo. It can be comparable to Shira. It seems that it is a further step, and it can be faint and break through the realm. Although it is difficult to take that step, it is so good. If you want to use Fang Qingwei's own qualifications and practice for another 10 years, it is possible to exercise the physical body to the limit. It is safe to say that Fang Qingwei was taught by Gao. There is, the gourd in her hand, how is it like my 7 gourd? But among the 7 gourds, there is no golden long rainbow. The monk smoke can't have such a big power. The power of the wolf smoke is only 30 or 40. The strength of the horse. And this golden Changhong is 10 times bigger. Right, Hua Tian has summoned Fang Qingwei. Could it be that Hua Tian has re-refined my 7 gourd? Then gave Fang Qingwei. It must be like this. Good means, good means. In this way, after Fang Qingshui's customs clearance, there is nothing to say, let Fang Qingwei to contain himself, fight with himself, and make Fang Qingshui difficult to be a human. This 2 birds are really high. Means are enough to be the head of the party. In the mind, the flash of light, suddenly came to the veins, have been guessed by Fang Han. At this moment, he couldn't help but feel a chill in his heart. Hua Tiandu's means were so high-spirited and condescending, 3 times and 2 times, it created such a big trouble. For Fang Qingwei, Fang Han did not dare to treat her excessively. It is impossible to vent out, kill, and disintegrate each other. First of all, Fang Qingshui will not be able to pass. Besides, in the door of Yuha, he is still sheltered by Fang Qingshui. If Fang Qingshui turns around and kills himself, I am afraid that no one can protect it. No-vel-b in.c om. If Fang Qingwei does not have the strength, she will not be at all concerned. Now that I have the strength, I am in trouble with myself. Mothers, simply do not do, the second does not repair. Fang Han heart flashed a murderous machine, even the swear words came out, can be seen in his heart of anger, but I have to eat the 5 prisons Wang Ding Da Dan furnace. Besides, it's a pity that the public can't be included in the map of Wangquan. And this level of Dan furnace must be refining, and it takes a long time to repel these people first. Protecting the 5 prison King Ding, this great Dan furnace, Fang Han released the inspiration of the wooden emperor, filled the surrounding area, and suddenly those who attacked felt the power of Fang Han, and they all stayed, including Fang Qingwei also recovered. Ruyi Jinyan, standing in the distance. Along with Fang Qingwei, there are a total of 10 people, 5 of which are very calm, and the age has reached middle age. There is no magic weapon on the body, just 1 or 2 pieces of spirit, but they are masters of the magical mystery. However, it did not practice infuriating, that is, the first battle in the mysterious secrets. This look is the sea repair. There is no magic weapon only if it is scattered to the mysterious secret. If the magic master among the big sects, the martial art will certainly give the treasure. And the martial art will also give the exercises, so that the disciples can cultivate the infuriating. There is no practice in dispersal, and you can't refine your own spirits. You can only find them in dangerous places and hit a fairy. The magic weapon of the spirit level is a big road cargo in ancient times. As long as there is some magical power, there is a little luck, you can find it in a dangerous place, and the treasure is not easy. The other 5 people, Fang Qingwei accounted for 1, and 1, Fang Han is also very familiar, actually Yi Nanshan. By himself, he was abolished by martial arts at the Shan List competition, and was later rescued by Nan Wanluo. The other 1, also known by Fang Han, was beaten by himself, and the silver snake sword was empty. In addition, the island of the island, which is not the night, is actually in it, and it was also beaten by Fang Bing. And he and one of them are scattered and grow very much the same, obviously 2 fathers and sons. It can be seen that one of the scattered repairs is the island of the island. The last one turned out to be a true disciple of Yuhuaman. However, Fang Han did not know, but watching his dress as the cloak of the real disciple of Yuhuaman. 5 supernatural masters of the mysterious secrets, a true disciple of Yuhuaman, and 4 inner disciples who have a great death and death. This time, it is really narrow. Fang Han, actually you. Fang Qingwei first saw the face of Fang Han, the body, first was taken aback, then there was a hint of coldness in his eyes. Ha ha, actually it is the same door, this is easy to handle. You are all inside disciples. This time you dare to kill the desperate island owner. It is really daring, but now you can go back. The sea is dangerous and not easy to stay for a long time. Cold stationed on the spot, wrapped in the size of the house, the 5 prison king tripod, the eyes of the fire, looked at Yi Nanshan. Yi Nanshan, you have been ruined by me, actually so fast. It seems that Wanluo the mana is good. Mana's mana is what you can imagine. Yi Nanshan gnawed his teeth. For Fang Han, he can be described as hateful, and he can't wait to eat bones and drink his blood. You are the newly promoted true disciple Fang Han. And you, Long Hao. At this moment, the real disciple of Yuhuaman spoke. It turned out to be the brother of Kangbeizi. 2 years ago, you were promoted to the mythical secrets and became a true disciple. After 2 years of retreat, you went out again. The mana was a lot of people. This time he went out to sea. Do you want to go to the virtual? Long Hao obviously knows this true disciple. This time I came out. One is the entrustment of the brothers of Wanluo, taking care of the following Qingwei, the original Zhangkong, Yi Nanshan, Shaoxi these 4 disciples. The second is to come out and experience. I heard that at sea, 40 thieves, by the way I'm going to get rid of 1 or 2. I don't think you're going to get there first. There was a cold smile on the face of Kangbeizi, aiming at the 5 prisoners, and the eyes flashed and covered. Fang Han, you actually got the 5 prisoners, and the contribution to my feathering door is really big, go. Let's go back together and turn it over to the sect. Go to the sect. Fang Han licked his lips. In the door rules, there seems to be no such thing. Of course there is no such thing, but you can kill this desperate island owner, and we are outside, blocking the evil spirit's gorge. We have a credit. If you get a piece of the door, if the 2 get 1 the magic weapon has merits. The treasure should be turned over to the sect, and the sect will decide. The cypresses shrugged their shoulders.